Yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Griggs, and welcome to Saeed TV. Saeed put me on camera first because a special match happened today: Greece versus England. And to every English person out there, I just want to say, absolutely hold that. For anyone that calls me a Yank, you can absolutely hold that because I own you where I'm really from, and I'm from Greece as I was born there. And third of all, obviously we all know what happened yesterday with the Greece fullback dying. So I just want there's a saying in Greece where we say when we do it for someone, after Tangasena, and that was for George Baldock. May he rest in peace. He's also half Scottish, and I know about the Scottish versus England rivalry, so it felt good to win it for him. So yeah, man, every English person can absolutely hold that. No United players in the squad either, so I don't gotta feel an inch of guilt. They can absolutely hold that, and that is why we are the bigger nation. European heritage. That's all I gotta say. Sorry, you can go now. You take over.
Let's go, people. Let's go. Listen, shout out to Greece in a building. You know the ones there doing their thing and that. You know the ones. So big up to Greece. I didn't watch it, but big up to you. You know what? R.I.P. to George Baldock, man. Because at the end of the day, bro, that was in his name. You get me? Because at the end of the day, yeah, he passed away yesterday, and what a tribute! They won him the game, and fair play to him, man. So big up to him and rest in peace. And yeah, man, it's sad what's happened to him. But big up to everyone who's locked in. Smash a like on the video. And yeah, man, we outside, man. We outside. You know what I mean? A lot of people are saying the location, but the location is undisclosed. We're not in the spot, but if you know, then you know. You know the ones there. So shout out to you, man. Big up to Griggs, big up to Estrella, big up to Brian, big up to Ange. How are you not feeling though? International break, is everyone just chill? I'm chilled, you know. I know my video today was a bit emotional one, but I'm chilled, man. What are you saying?
United hype. I haven't thought about United in 48 hours. I'm gonna be real.
Wow.
I haven't thought about United in 48 hours. Obviously, like here in America, obviously, like, my baseball team just advanced too. Basketball starting soon. Obviously, what happened today, bro? United, and the last thing on my mind. United want to take 7 hours for a meeting. I'm gonna take a 2-week break. How about that?
Facts.
How about that?
Speak.
So how about that?
You know the ones.
I'm on 2-week hiatus right now with them.
Say no more. Say no more. Listen, we are going to speak on this Man United team, yeah, because I feel like, listen, we've talked about Ten Hag too much. You know what I mean? That guy don't deserve my energy. You know, them ones there. And unfortunately, we have to talk about his team that is assembled, or he's co-signed, or he's enabled to be part of the squad. So we're going to break it down, yeah, bit by bit, from goalkeeper to attack. And we're going to discuss them in batches. So we're going to go with goalkeepers first, then defenders, then midfielders, then attack/wingers. And we're going to discuss, are we overrating this Man United team? Because people say, you know what, Saeed? It's all the manager. It's all the manager. No blame on the players. So now we're going to discuss them. Like I said to you, not just talking about Bruno and Rashford, discussing them in totality. So goalkeeper, defense, attack. You know the ones there. Shout out to Skull in the building. Big up to Skull, man. Big up to Skull. Foden slap. Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. But listen, anyway, let's go with goalkeepers, guys. Onana, Bayender, Heaton. What are we saying? Are they good enough for right now? And are they good enough in the long term? Start with you, Griggs. Are you happy with the keepers that we've got at this club? Onana, Bayender, Heaton. Are they good enough?
I don't really, to be honest, with the goalkeeper position, I think for me, it's one of the weakest positions in world football. Yeah. At best, I can probably say there's maybe 3 elite keepers left. Alisson, obviously one of them. Courtois, obviously maybe not as recently, but maybe before the ACL injury he had last year was at a top form. Who else? I can't really name. So it's like, I think Onana he's not the greatest. He has his weaknesses, but he's also not shit. So he's good. It's not something that we really have to prioritize. And it also doesn't help to him that we don't play to his strengths. We signed him to be a ball-playing goalkeeper. And half the time I see him going long, which is not really his best attribute. I think for me, he's best as a medium-range passer, as we saw for Inter. He was never really kicking the ball over the top to Lautaro or Dzeko or I don't know if Thuram was there at that time. He was always kicking it medium to Barella, Canoglu, whoever else they had in midfield at the time. That's where he's at. So it's not really a big issue for me. Maybe in a couple years we can address it. But it's a calm position for now. As for backup, Bayender, yeah, man.
You see the report? about Bayern, is that true, by the way? Or is that just a fake report? Footy Insider saying basically Onana didn't speak to him in the first 2 months. I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah.
I doubt it.
That's
Onana seems like a chill guy.
Oh, was it Onana or Ten Hag?
Ten Hag, yeah, basically Ten Hag hasn't spoke to Bayern, yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, Bayern did a Ten Hag, yeah. But you know what it is? For me, it's like I don't trust this Onana, bro. I'll be real with you guys, yeah. Do I want to kick him out now? Probably not at the expense of others if I had to choose. But I don't trust this brother, you know. Like when I look at all the goals here, I look at the fact that he could save some of them. You know, when you look at a keeper, you're like, you keep constantly blaming for kid. He could have saved that. That's when you know something's wrong. I've got to sometimes accept that some saves are not the keeper's not making it. But I feel like most of the saves here that happen, most of the goals that happen against Onana, he's either in the wrong position or he's just not good at diving.
This season,
am I wrong?
This season, or are you talking about last season?
Just in general, like, because we're talking about, are we overrating this Man United team? So just in general, do you believe he's a good shot stopper? Like, do you believe like you feel like Onana's in goal, nobody's past, you know what I mean? No one's going past him, basically. Do you feel like that?
I don't think there are many keepers like that in world football. I think if you have 20 shots, like last season we had like 20 shots a game against Onana. And even with that stat, he still had a good goals prevented, basically, if you looked at his stats. So is he someone that you like to upgrade on? Sure. If your team is excellent and you want to upgrade your keeper, sure, you can do that. He has his issues, but in terms of goalkeepers, that's the last position we should be looking at right now. There are I would say midfield and defense and attack rank above goalkeeper. I think if you're looking for issues with Onana, you'll find them, but there are more glaring issues with other parts of the team.
Who rates Onana here? Does anyone rate him? Estrella, you Smiler, you rate him? Or is that Onana we're looking at right now?
I just think it's funny how we're doing this again.
What doing what? Talk to me.
We're doing this again. When I said this to you, we're doing this again.
Go on, explain.
I said to you previously when everyone was like, "Oh, De Gea, don't give him the contract, get rid of him." I was like, "I'll keep him. I don't see what the problem is." He's not the biggest problem in the cognitive elements of the rest of the squad compared to everyone else. And I would argue Onana hasn't even provided a fraction of what De Gea has. Because I look at it like this: if we all go on a glider right now, and I'm like, Griggs, you're recruited as a driver. You can be one of the new age getaway drivers. You want to get away in style, but your main priority is to get away. I've got you for that main reason. I'm not saying, hey, you didn't play to my strengths or this and that. I don't care. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. Simple saves you're not making. Simple saves. And when you do make the saves, is that the technique he's using, it just looks so unorthodox. Like every other goalkeeper in the Premier League, when they do a diving save, I can tell, okay, cool, that's standard routine. When he does it, it's like he's done it, but it could have been a goal. And I don't want to have anxiety every time someone has an opportunity on goal. Because it just seems like every time, like, even when he comes out and collects it, it's like, what are you doing? I don't know. Like, I don't want to feel on edge when the ball's going towards my net. I want to feel comfortable. And I'll be honest, when De Gea was in goal, I didn't feel as pressed too much because he had the stinker in him, yes. But I knew 7 times out of 10, the guys are putting off a worldy save. Or at least a simple save. A simple save.
Bro, we had a song, man.
Not in his last season, though. Like, what are we doing here?
No, he was. Last season, he was good.
Huge errors.
100%.
Huge errors.
No. Towards the end, he was bad. But there was
season.
a large chunk of the season where he was saving us in a large part. You know, it was towards the end. Sevilla, West Ham.
Oh my God.
No. Generally, guys, he wasn't bad the whole season. David
He
Gea.
was
towards the
not
end.
good. He conceded if you looked at his stats,
Let me the goals.
He conceded shots. He conceded goals that we shouldn't have conceded throughout
No,
that
so
whole.
He's saying the truth. He's saying the truth. But I'll argue, Brian. What did Onana concede in his first season? Did he not get us knocked out of his Champions League solely by his performances?
Again,
how many goals did he contend to?
If we want to do this, right? If we want to do this where we crash out on Onana because he made mistakes, That's fine. I'm not even defending him. I'm just saying he had his first season at Manchester United. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. He's not our biggest problem. I don't see why we need to have a long conversation about Onana. I really don't.
I just to jump in here, I think Onana is a problem, he'll be a massive problem when we become a decent team and we're fighting for the top 4. Right now, we've just got so many other major issues that I can see why people say, let's not focus on Onana, but he's an awful goalkeeper. Let's be honest. He'll have 2-3 games where he'll do some decent things and the PR machine will come out and will say, oh, isn't Onana having a great season? Isn't, like, even making simple, like, so he's not a technician in terms of goalkeeper. And I take my cues from ex-professional goalkeepers. And when I listen to other goalkeepers talk about Onana, they generally think, why is he doing that? Why is he using his left leg or his right leg? Like, they understand the specific technical aspects about goalkeeping. We look at it like, if you want to understand what is useless, look at goalkeeping stats. Goalkeeping stats are useless. You're not going to be able to understand if a goalkeeper is good, because the goalkeeper will always be measured on his worst mistakes. That's how you measure goalkeepers. Because you can have an amazing game, but if you falter once or twice in a game and you let a goal in, then you've had an awful game. That's how you measure goalkeepers.
That's why I asked Saeed this season or last season. Because the only reason why we're not even in relegation zone right now is because of Onana.
No, Onana's not having a bad season this season. I can't lie. He's not having a bad season this season.
I'm not saying he's not going to pull out his stinker. He is. Just like when Arsenal upgraded from whatever his name is to
Ramsdale to Raya.
Ramsdale. Well, Arsenal was still a decent team. Arsenal was still a good team. Like, you could still see how good they were, regardless of the fact. Right now, we don't even know what our centre-back pairing is. Like, the reason why I'm like, the conversation for me just is not productive, because at the end of the day, you can upgrade Onana. You can. That is doable. Someone will buy Onana, right? Someone will buy him. Inter Milan, he had him.
Not on those wages. No one's buying him.
Bro, you could bring an Alice into the team.
We forget.
By the time we are a decent team,
Brian.
By the time we are a decent team, he'll maybe have 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, but
No,
it's another
don't do
black
that, Brian.
sign.
I want to know, Brian.
He's the fourth most
Who's now will buy
expensive
Onana?
goalkeeper. He's the fourth most expensive goalkeeper in the world.
I want to know who's going to buy Onana. Like, I honestly want to know who's going to buy. Who's going to give us the money we want for Onana?
Then what money would we want for Onana? He's a goalkeeper.
Yeah, you wouldn't get a lot for them anyway. You probably get about 30 million, 25 million. Yeah, you probably
we don't 120K a week. That's not even that much.
Yeah, that's not even enough.
We don't need to upgrade him right now. Would it be nice?
Wait, Griggs. That's not a lot of money to United, but to other clubs, that's a lot of money.
This guy was goalkeeping for Inter Milan when they won the league and won to the Champions League final. Someone will buy him. Okay, let's relax.
There will be suitors. Let's move on from Onana, because obviously Onana, you get me, it's not the biggest issue. We've got a decent amount of keepers that are good, yeah. Let's go to defense now. This is the one where we need to talk about, because boy, this is a tricky one. Okay, let's talk on fullbacks. First of all, fullbacks, yeah. Have we got good enough fullbacks, guys?
No.
Are you guys happy with the fullback selection?
No. We only have one good fullback, and his name is Diogo Dalot. And for some reason, this whole fan base wants to crash out on him when he's been playing left side, right side for almost 2 years.
Don't forget defensive midfielder.
Brian.
The latest iteration.
Brian,
would you not classify?
Wait. Very quickly, sorry. That's no problem. He's doing all those positions. No problem. Thank you for helping out the team. But as a fullback, don't forget your job first and foremost is also defend. I don't care if you can do this, you can do that. But brother, don't forget to go back. And there's too many times you're forgetting to go back. And that's why people are getting onto him. Regardless of what you want to say, or he's fatigued. If you're not fit enough to do the job in the squad, then don't play. At the end of the day, do your position. I'm tired of seeing it.
He's done his
position. And I'm sure everyone else is. That's what everyone's
He was one of the best right backs in the Premier League last season. He did his role. He did his position. But Manchester United, their recruitment is shambolic. They're playing him left. They're playing him left back.
Bro,
he's not a left back.
it's much harder to defend as a left back, as a right footer, because you have to approach different angles when against different dribblers. It's easier to defend as a right back because they're going to be cutting in, so it's easier sometimes. So it's a different. And also last season when he was at right back, like Brian mentioned, he had the highest duel winning percentage out of every right back in the Premier League. Every single right back in the Premier League, he had the highest duel winning percentage. So he could defend. He has all the metrics to be able to defend. He's tall for his position. He's quick. He's strong. All the attributes. Yeah, sometimes you're gonna get dribble pass. That happens to every fullback.
That happens to every fullback, man.
There's so many talented wingers.
Especially the way we get exposed as a team on the transition.
Griggs, I can't lie,
you can see why. You can see why.
Oh,
just quickly, Stella. You can see why he gets exposed. The thing is, I would also classify Mazraoui as another good fullback option that we have. I think that was a really smart, astute signing. Like
as a backup. As a backup,
but even he can play 10 games in a row in a season, 15 games. Like I don't mind. Like he's a steady Eddie. Like he's going to do his job. He's going to offer an option in attack. He's going to defend defensively. He's really good. You can tell he's got a really. He doesn't go too up and down. He's got a really. He's emotionally very stable. Like I really like that signing. I think Dalot is one of the least of our worries. Like if the way his coaches and ex-players talk about him is that he's one of the hardest workers, one of the hardest trainers. Like they all say that. You know, Ronaldo's like, yeah, he's not there yet, but he will make himself into a great player. That's what he said to Rio maybe about a month ago. Even Benny McCarthy was like, yeah, if everybody trained like Diego Dalot, we would become a good team. So yeah, he's got like my biggest criticism of him is that he's technically very good, but his decision-making in tight, has always been poor. He'll lose the ball for really dumb reasons in tight. Those short passes, those 15-meter short passes that go bang, bang, bang. He doesn't make good decisions there. But he's not perfect, but everything else is pretty good, so I'm not going to criticize.
He's got a solid technical baseline, right? I think for me, I'm not going to lie to you, I wasn't his biggest fan, let's say 2-3 years ago. I was thinking to myself, defensive naive, and just not good enough for me. But you know what? In the last, I would say 18 months, 2 years, I think his improvement has been one of the best we've had in this kind of United team. Generally, guys, like I'm not worried for me about Dalot. I'm not anymore. Yeah, he might have the odd mistakes, like Ange says. The goal against, I think it was what game was it, where he just a bit, he didn't really kind of understand him. Yeah, Tottenham. There's to be certain games like that. Don't get me wrong. And I think what game was it? Yeah, Tottenham. I think it's probably his worst games. But for me, I'm not worried about Dalot. That one for me right there, we can still manage with Dalot. Probably need a fullback to kind of maybe push him on, and that might be Mazraoui on that right hand side when we do have maybe left backs available. We need someone to push him. But I think for me, overall, I think it's the one where we just gotta everyone take their time. Don't be too harsh on Dalot for me personally.
The other thing, Saeed, is that he's almost always fit, and that counts a lot for this Man United squad. You know what I mean? Like you can rely on him.
His engine.
You can rely on him to not get injured as often as our other players.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Like actually, that's important for this squad.
Yeah.
So you're going to hear me say this quite a lot on this show, and that's the fact that I don't think Manchester United fans have realistic expectations on how players actually develop.
Yeah.
We just don't. We really don't. Because go and watch other teams. I say this to United fans, please watch other teams, because maybe some of you think all these players in other teams are giving 10-10 performances all the time, where they're always looking really good. That's not true. That's not true. They dip. They go down in form. They're not always at their best level. What gets them through it, I know we don't want to talk about the manager, but it's the system they're playing it. It helps protect them. We play Dalot in midfield. I see this guy do runs in behind ahead of our attack. How many times in a game? What kind of tactics is this? Who does that? How many fullbacks do you see do that? Why is he breaking his legs, breaking his neck to get on the end of Onana pass? Who does that?
No. I don't. That space that he leaves behind, and then Rashford has to basically track back. This is why I don't even blame Rashford this season for not tracking back, a lot, because it's like he's having to cover a lot of ground when Dalot goes into midfield. So that's where I'm like, it's one of them. So we got Dalot, we got Mazraoui.
So before you move on really quickly, I'm not saying I would sell Dalot. Yeah, my thing is this and it's gonna run is a running theme through the whole team. there's too many players where it's like on their day or when they get going, they're good for a period. We haven't got enough players like Mazraoui where it's just small sample size, but from the sample size I've seen, performances
Talk
have
about
been
it.
they've been steady. So it's like, and even when he's had a poor game, the drop off isn't really that bad from his steady games.
Exactly.
So my thing is when you have a player like Dalot, fair enough, he could be good enough for us to moving forward. And some of his defaults you can negate for it because the rest of the team are consistent players and they're pretty decent. But in this United squad, that's currently not the case. And that's why I'm saying he's a problem at this current juncture. Obviously, if the whole team was a full cognitive element that was running forward, you could account for Dalot, no worries. But that's all I'm saying on the point. In it, next position is fine.
Okay, Mazraoui. Yeah, go on.
I mean, Mazraoui is not more consistent than Dalot. Dalot is a much more consistent player. No disrespect, Mazraoui has been decent, but in terms of aggressiveness and attack, he's so much more passive than Dalot. Unwillingness to cross, that counts as a fullback. You can talk all about the defending this, defending that, but as a fullback in 2024, you got to be able to whip that ball into the box. It's not even a 2024 thing. Every fullback, even in the past, used to be able to whip the ball into the box. Gary Neville all the time. Mazraoui.
All our best crosses this season have come from Dalot.
Yeah, and it's even making it even better for Dalot's sake is with his left foot. It's with his weak foot that he's putting in pingers of crosses. That's not even his weak, it's not even his strong foot. And you want to talk about consistency? Dalot was United's most consistent player last year. He was United's player this season last year. And you could, even in terms of as an overall player, you can even make the argument that Dalot is United's most complete player. That he has probably the fewest weaknesses out of every United player, including the Kobe Mainus, including you want to include your Rashfords, your Brunos, all that kind of stuff. Lenny Yoro we'll see obviously when he finally plays. So I think for me, definitely not an issue. I think hopefully once we get a left back or one of the left backs come back, we get to see him go back to his right position at right back and can hopefully continue the form that he had last season where he was United's best player. And in my opinion, considering Trent missed probably about 20% of the season, he was the Premier League's best right back last season. Considering what he had to play in that trash-ass system, and he was the one that played every single game. Availability is the best ability, and he proved that last year while playing in that system. I read a fact that he has not been on the bench for Man United since November of 2023. It is October 10th, 2024.
That's crazy.
That is so bad in terms of health, yet he's still able to put that level of performances for about 85% of the time. All the credit to him. So I don't want to do the comparison between him and Mazraoui because I don't like always comparing players because they're both really good players. But in my opinion, I think one is better than the other. And I think Mazraoui was always meant to be the backup to Dalot.
Yeah.
That's what
I'm not arguing with you about Dalot not being better than Mazraoui. I'm talking about in terms of consistency from the sample size I've seen. As I told you, from the sample size I've seen from Mazraoui being at United, I've seen him have a poor game and I've seen him have good games. Yeah, and it's been kind of a consistent theme with him. I've seen Dalot being very poor, being very good, being very poor, being very good, up and down, and then making suddenly these mistakes this season. So I'm just comparing two from what I'm seeing. I'm saying I want more consistent players rather than up and down players.
Is a 38-game season not consistent enough?
No, it's the same thing as Ten Hag. We've seen 10-game sample size, or we're going to see a 10-game sample size, and we can judge it. I'm just judging it for myself. That's it.
By the way, this Mazraoui is this injury serious or is it just
they overgassed it. I think it's not meant to be as like obviously all prayers to him, all healthy, all that kind of stuff. But I think it's not meant to be like a crazy long-term injury. It all depends on how his body reacts and stuff like that, and like up to him. But it could be weeks, it could be months. It's you got to play like it's a heart condition, so obviously there's no really.
Did he have it at Bayern? By the way, did he have it at Bayern? I heard some notes that he had it at Bayern. Mazraoui.
That's a medical.
I don't know. That's a medical thing. I don't know if you're gonna get that kind of information out because usually that's stuff.
Bloody hell, man! So Brentford, private. We could have who? Who's gonna play at left back? Is it gonna be Dalot? Is it gonna be Lindelof?
Probably Lindelof.
Oh, Lindelof, right back. Oh my!
Do you think you'll report Alvaro Fernandez or give Amas a chance?
Nah, he's gone.
No, but we can recall him. Not recall him, but we can get him for €6 million.
No, not worth it. He'll say no to us, mate. He'll be like, "Yo, see you later, mate." You know what I mean? He's chilling out.
Not with Ten Hag in charge. I'll tell you.
Not with Ten Hag. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It ain't happening. And Luke Shaw ain't about. Luke Shaw. Maybe Malacia might be around. I don't even know, man. When is Malacia coming back, man? He's boxing and that. He's become an MMA fighter now, man. I see his little training and that. It's mad.
Imagine starting. Go ahead, Byron.
So I was just going to say our fullback options in general so that we can move to the center backs. It's awful. We need two left backs. And I'm a bit frustrated because there was an opportunity to sign a player in Hanko. I've talked about him a lot. He plays for Feyenoord.
Yeah, you did.
Who could play centre back and left back, and that would have helped up tremendously this season. But Laurie Whitwell was saying we don't want to pay the money because they view him as a backup. Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
It's Atletico
few
Madrid
weeks.
chased him all season, and Simeone won't sign an idiot for a defense. So I'm just saying that this potentially could have been a player that we could have used this season, but we didn't. So I want to see what we need to sign a left back in January. We need to sign a left back in January.
Regulon back.
I don't know. No, Jesus Christ. I don't want to hear Chilwell. I don't want to hear Regulon. I don't want to hear Malacia is like a new signing. This club is pissing me off.
Doubt United buy left
We
back.
need to buy a new left back. If Ineos don't buy a new left back this January, Jesus.
They will though. When will they? When they got Malacia and Shaw possibly back by January.
See, this is why I have beef with United, because last season was a perfect opportunity to really give Alvaro Fernandez a platform to perform. Instead, this club made me witness Wan-Bissaka at left back, Amrabat at left back, Lindelof at left back, and then Sergio Reguilon on a big Champions League night at Bayern Munich away at left back. That's what this club made me witness. Meanwhile, Alvaro Fernandez last week got man of the match performance against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. See, when I talk about Mark Carrington and I gas it up, this is what I'm talking about. Look at all our players going away to Europe. Even Oydele played against Betis in Conference League. A great performance.
Left back.
Look how good they're playing. Yet United want to sign me the mid and always.
But even Sam Murray, why do you play Sam Murray, man? He's decent. Sam Murray.
No, I'm trying to see that guy. I'm gonna be real.
Bro, but the thing is, listen, I spoke to the United scout here. He said to me that Alvaro Fernandez, when he seen United signing Malacia, he said, I'm done here. And that's what he went to, I think, on loan. I think it was to Granada or something like that. He was like, yo, you're buying Malacia, bro. I'm better than this guy, bro. Then he left. So he was like, yo, I ain't staying
That was
around.
Tenard's first season where he thought he'd buy everybody from everybody from Eredivisie.
Yeah,
I'm not saying
he played well against Anthony. He played well against Anthony.
You can rely on youth to be fair, right? Because youth needs to be developed. This is what I'm talking about. Youth players need to be developed. And Manchester United fans have unrealistic expectations of how youth players should be developed. Should we have kept Fernandes? Yes. But would his fan base have been patient enough to let him develop the way he should have? Probably not. That's the unfortunate truth. Benfica, he can have a stinker. You will never hear about it. If he has a stinker at Manchester United, I
know.
That's why I hate the fan base too. Because the youth are half our youth is probably better than half our first teamers.
I know. If they have one bad performance, every United fans write them off, and that's the problem. You've got to have them to have a good. Yeah, go on.
So why is Malacia getting hate in the chat? Like everyone's saying, get rid of him.
I don't know. Maybe because he's
Because
his first season was not. You can tell technically. Estella, you can tell technically, even in his first season, he wasn't good enough. He's limited. He's a very limited footballer. He's very limited.
He came in young.
Going forward, he's limited, but not as a footballer though.
Yeah, I've seen him have the game. I've seen him lock down Mo Salah. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but on the ball, when you compared him to Shaw on the ball, it was like night and day. Like, yes, he'd make a few defensive lapses, but what I like about him is a very competitive athlete. Like he's an animal. He's competitive. He'll run up and down. He'll do, but technically on the ball, he's awful. He's actually awful. He's not very good.
I don't know if he's awful on the ball. I don't think I think what we were asking him to do was not within his skill set. Yeah. We're asking him to invert into midfield. It's a very unique position. Okay, he's a traditional fullback. It's like asking Patrice Evra to invert into midfield. He would look awkward. It's just not his skill set.
It's asking Trent to invert. We've seen Trent try to invert, and it's good.
Trent can't even do it.
No, but even this is where I'll contend with you. But even when he plays on the outside, his ability to deliver across, find a man, was not good enough.
He can't cross. I can't lie to you. He's not crossing.
We watched him all that season. Like, so if you want him to do a job, and get stuck into a tackle, he will do it really well. He's a competitor. He's a better competitor than Luke Shaw. I have no doubt of that. But if you want him to be on the ball, and if you want to dominate position, it depends how you want your team to play. If you're going to,
he might be crap, right? He might be crap, but this is what I mean. He was a young player we signed. We needed to develop him. He got after his first season. How many of our fullbacks put in good crosses? How consistently do you see it? We don't see that. We don't see it at Manchester United. If there's no example, even Luke Shaw, his crossing is very rare and very inconsistent. People will say Luke Shaw has delivery like he's Ryan Giggs, but it rarely happens. Look at his assist numbers. So again, I'm going to say it, and I'm not defending Malacia, but I kind of have to because he's been injured and I haven't seen him play for over a year. He had his first season, he was okay. He needed to be developed from that point. We don't do that at this club.
Yeah,
we don't. So at this point, in my opinion, we're probably going to have to sell him because of how bad his injury was.
Yes.
He might not be the same guy we
all it
signed.
is.
So that's just what's going to happen. He's probably just going to have to move on to a lower league.
Let's move on. Let's move on from the fullbacks. Guys, there's 1.5k in the building. We're only on, I think it's 313 likes. So come on, guys. Hit the like button. We're giving you content and we're not even at home. You know what I'm saying? That's when you got to double hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? We're in the Matisse's gaff. You know what I'm saying? Man hosted me and, you know what I mean, gave me the license to be here. So let's like the video for Matisse. Shout out to Matisse. Let's look at central midfield. So let's look at so we got Ugarte, Casemiro, Ericsson, Bruno Fernandes, Mainu.
Have we passed central defense or we don't want to?
Oh man, what bro? Sorry.
We did spend 40 minutes on left back.
Okay. Central defense. Okay, we're not going to speak about Euro because he's not played. Dalot, Martinez, Maguire, Evans. Who else have I missed?
Lindelof.
Lindelof hasn't played this year, but we have
Johnny
to
Evans.
Johnny Evans been our best centre back.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I actually agree. Johnny Evans been. I think everyone can agree with that. I think the chat can agree with that.
That's mad.
Yeah.
The state of Manchester United in 2024.
So
Can we say
who's on uncomfortable watch? Who's on fraud watch? Anyone got anyone on fraud watch right now?
Can I just quickly say something? I am shocked by Martinez's performance this year. Shocked.
Yeah.
I was his number one. I was his number one biggest fan. I'm like, this is our next captain. I have no doubt about this. He's a leader. The way he talks when we're in trouble, the way he talks about, like, you know, the level that you need to perform at, as you know. This year he's become so passive. It's unbelievable.
Did you watch his Copa America, by the way? I watched the Copa America.
He was excellent. He was
flawless.
Unbelievable. He was stripping people. And then he'd take a couple of steps and then he'd pass into midfield. Like, he was perfect. Like, but when he plays for Argentina, there's that heart and desire. I feel like he's lost that connection for United this year. Honestly, he's a heart and desire player. He's not.
No. He has heart and desire for United. He just don't know how to time his heart and desire, and it leads to reckless fouls, which cause him to get yellow cards all the time.
But I disagree with that. I feel like let me just respond to that. Before this season, he timed everything perfectly. Other fans would go, "Oh, he's reckless," but everything I felt was in control. This year, I feel like there is something going wrong. That he doesn't. I'm not seeing him lift up other players. This is what he used to do. So he'd lift up other players. He'd go to Rashford and he goes, "Hey, come on, do this." He'd go to another player if they weren't performing and he'd give him. I'm not seeing any of that this year. There is something going wrong with Martinez. I can't put my finger on it. I think it's to do with his contract. I think there's an issue with his contract. He wants Wait. I think he wanted. So this is my view. You can disagree with it. I like it when you disagree with it. My view.
I don't think he has to do this contract.
Brian, you gotta let me finish, bro. So I think that he wanted a pay rise. This was about a year and a half ago, and then he started getting injuries. He never got his pay rise. I think he's having issues and he's seen everybody else get pay rises. He hasn't got his pay rise, and I think he's lashing out. That is my opinion. I'm happy for you to just disagree with it.
Go on, Brian. You want to?
I was just gonna say. Anybody who, I'm sorry, but if you've watched football for a long time, and I'm sure everybody here has, and you were not blinded by, and when I say I'm not a fanboy for any player on this team, I clocked Martinez in his first season, and I said he's not going to be anything more than a backup for a team that is, with proper defenders. He's just been exposed, guy. This is his level. Right now, he overperformed, and now he's coming back down. He's gone a little bit lower than where he should be. He's going to go back up again. But he was never going to be a starting center back for us long term. Do you know why? Because I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Our manager is a fool. When Arteta wanted to sign him for a specific profile and reason. He wanted to replace the Zinchenko.
Okay? Yeah.
He was not going to play him at center back. But Manchester United signed him and play him at center back. he is getting physically. It's like his push is overextending himself. When you watch Van Dijk
Yeah,
play
I
in his
know.
prime, Van Dijk doesn't overextend himself physically. That's why he can still be playing right now, even after his terrible injury to his ACL. Martinez has to be perfect to have a good game. He has to time everything perfect because of his physical limitations. He can't just bully a man and get the ball. He has to time a tackle perfectly. Do you know how that's very hard to do in the Premier League? So if he comes against attackers that can expose him in wide channels, he's going to get exposed because the Premier League just has that level of player. So at the end of the day, I'm not even crashing out on Martinez. It's not his fault. We should sign better centre backs. He's just going to have to be backup when Lindelof and Evans leave. That's it.
You know,
Well,
yeah.
I agree. I honestly,
You know what? It makes me sad, you know, man, because Martinez is one of my favorite players, you know, guys, man. And I can't lie. The first season, maybe I brushed it under the carpet a lot, you know, but his rashness and the wide areas, yeah, he can't defend them. He's not quick off the ground. He's not got an abundance of pace. And sometimes he's too aggressive to the point where it can be a detriment to the team. You look at the goal against Tottenham, for example, the second goal. I blame fully on Martinez because this brother steps out. He doesn't win the ball. They go 2v1. They put the ball in there, and then Kulusevski scored. He's the reason why we score. There's another one as well. I think there's
It
another
happened
game,
against
probably-
20. It happened against
Yeah,
20. He dropped out
20.
of defense. Again, this is a timing thing.
Yeah.
Because of the fact he can't rely on his physical traits, he has to time things perfectly. And if his
Yeah.
head is not like correct, we saw him against Crystal Palace. I don't know what that tackle was. He's going to make mistakes. And that's what's happening
Yeah.
right now. His
Yeah.
head is not in the game. I don't know if he's worried about his body. I don't know what it is. I think he's worried about his body. That's what it looks like to me because right now he has an injury. That's what they're saying.
But-
Yeah,
So
what did
I-
they say, man? What did they say? What did they say?
that his
what do
body's
you call
not 100%, basically.
Okay.
I'm gonna be real. Are we gonna see any United players internationals? Because all I keep seeing is withdrawals. Everyone's withdrawing.
Bro,
already.
everybody's cooked, man. They're physically cooked, bro.
You're paying
I
the
know
Premier
why.
League.
You
Bro,
know
you're
what?
paying the
Either-
Premier League. It's going to be 100%, man. Let's just be totally honest. And I was going to say, before you to your point
Yeah,
there, if we're moving on from Martinez, I was going to say anyone trying to give hate to Dalot, I didn't necessarily rate him to a degree. I think he was good enough to start for us, but I'm not going to write him off. I always say this, especially for a foreign player coming to the Premier League. I always give you 6 months to a full season for an adjustment period, regardless of if he's played in whatever Champions League or whatever leagues. You should be able to hit the ground running. No, there are mitigating factors as to why I give players from other leagues and that period to adjust to the league to catch up with the pace of the game, stamina, fitness, other things as well. Go on, Griggs, you can say your point.
I think that's fair. You know what's funny? When they were thinking about hiring Thomas Tuchel,
Yeah.
and he dropped Delete for Eric Dyer in the last part of Bayern.
I was gonna
Munich
say.
season.
I was gonna say.
That would have been.
That
That would,
Yeah.
He actually dropped him.
He played them together. He played them together. They played together like 28 times. Like I'm sorry, I've heard this said so much, but it's not true. It's just not true. Listen, Delete is not perfect. He has his issues.
What's
Like,
his flaws, Dylan? What's his flaws, guys? What do you reckon
He's
Delict's
slow.
flaws
He's
are?
slow on the turn. That's
Yes,
his
thank you.
biggest
Yes.
issue.
Like,
So
he's
Not
again,
agile. Not agile enough.
he's not as agile, but he's
and his
he's a good
distribution
defender.
is erratic. His distribution is erratic at times, and I think you see that for some of the goals that we've conceded. He's being passed around a lot, and that was my big concern before he came to United. That he was passed around by Juventus, passed around by Bayern Munich. His last really standout, consistent season was at Ajax. I'm not ready to write him off. People are like, he's no better than Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
That's what
Another
Scholes
one
was
as a good
saying.
backup for
Scholes
me.
said that on the overlap a few weeks back. He's no better than Harry Maguire. I'm not ready to make that assertion. Yeah, I want to give him time. I haven't made a full assessment on him to say he's a bad player or he's a good player. Let's wait and see, I guess.
If you put Van Dijk in this defense, he would get caught out. If you put Diaz in defense, he'll get caught out. Like, let's be totally honest. No other centre back has to deal with the amount of gaps and space that they have to cover and attack beyond them all the time. Let's be totally honest. man.
I agree with that. But there's certain center backs that are so proactive and can read the situation before it even materializes that they can stop. It's just like the Van Dijks, the Salibas of the world. They stop shit.
Of course.
Bro, I know what you're trying to say, bro. I know what you're trying to say, though. Like this defense, like the defensive system is so bad.
I think
That's
for
with the
him.
league, though.
Go ahead,
Yeah, I was gonna say On Lisandro Martinez, first of all, Rey Mysterio, it's time to go either left back or bench or sold. I don't really care. Rey Mysterio, Lisandro Martinez, 5'9".
Wow. Are you done with him?
No, it's not even that. I just think for me, like, I look at the way the Premier League is progressing and stuff like that, and I look at the best teams in the league and what their center back pairings is, and I look at the one center back that we signed this summer, especially Lenny Yoro. I want to find the left-footed version of Lenny Yoro, at least a right-footed center back.
I think they're going to go for Brentford again.
They're going to go for Brentford, yeah.
I'm a little worried about Brentford because he's been
I agree.
Yeah, but you've always had
he's been very injury prone.
The white
season.
PNP curse. The white PNP curse has
So,
ended on.
I'm just saying, it's like, unless we're getting him for like 35-40 million.
Yeah.
Just
and they're not going to get relegated, brother. They're not going to get
relegated. I've said Inacio, go get Inacio. That's the guy to go get. I said go get him.
How many games you watch Inacio? How many games you watched him?
I've watched more than 10 games of this guy this season alone. This season alone.
Of who?
This season alone.
Including
this season alone.
Who are you talking about, Star?
Inacio
Inacio is talking about.
My only issue is about
Saeed, after this year, I'll show you screenshots of my group chat. I've been screaming about this guy for the longest. I have been screaming about this guy for the longest.
I worry about Inacio.
Big up Mo for the
He's a safer buy than Bryce.
One second, guys. Big up Mo for the raid. Big up to you, Mo. Appreciate it.
He's left-footed to be.
Just quickly on Euro, yeah. He's hopefully he comes back soon. But when you look at his body composition, he looks like he's going to get injured a lot. He looks like one of those bodies that's going to break down. He's got that Varane body type. You know what I mean? That tall, lanky body type that's going to pull a few muscles, pull a few.
Just to go back on,
hopefully that's fingers crossed. He has
hopefully
very injury free, because I really like the look of him. But that body type doesn't look sturdy.
Just going back on Dalot, yeah, the 2 goals against Porto where they really, really made me angry, because bro, he got cooked. I don't know, it's Samuel Arodion. You're gonna face Samuel Arodion a lot of times, but the way he just got away from Dalot, I was like, man, that was easy,
Saeed,
the way he just slipped away from Dalot, I was like, yo, Dalot.
I want to see Dalot play it consistently, at least with the center back partner that's close to his height, before we make real assumptions.
Okay,
the amount of crosses that Porto.
Shall I tell you who we should get? And nobody knows about this guy. He plays for Nottingham Forest.
Murillo.
We all know. I've watched this guy for the past 18 months here. He's impressed me. He's quick. He's good on the ball. And he's physical beast.
I'm not gonna lie. Soon enough, I'm gonna start putting my Greek boy in this conversation. Koulirakis that plays at Wolfsburg, bro. People want to talk about attack. Koulirakis, he plays for Wolfsburg. He was at PAOK last year. You all want to talk about center backs. I know Coach Kim started the attacking fullback movement. I'm starting the attacking center back movement. The guy gets a G every single game. Since we can't score goals, we might as well go sign a center back that can get goals for us anyway. Since our attackers can't score, and we can't defend anyway. Might as well have them contribute to it.
I don't think we're going to spend any more money on centre backs for a while.
No. We
must.
Because just quickly. So we just spent over 100 million on centre backs in the last
more. Because Maguire and Dalot's going to go. Evans is going to go free.
You spend 400 million on center backs. I don't care until you solidify who your center back pairing is. You spend as much money as you need to, because the most important part of a team is a spine, and the center backs you go.
And this is exactly the problem. The problem is just this summer we spent over 100 million. Over the last 3 summers we've probably spent about 300-400 million. And we still haven't.
And that's because you know why? Ten Hag's an absolute nass. He's a clown.
And in my opinion, we've got other, our forward line needs a whole fucking makeover. Our midfield.
Let's get to the forward. Let's get to the forward line. But for now, like I said to you,
if your defenders ship about 55 goals anyway.
Okay, give me everyone's top centre back they want to buy this summer. Okay, Griggs, you go first.
Centre backs.
Okay, yeah, because we're talking about centre backs here. Who would you want to buy?
I'm gonna give Brandweight a little bit more leniency, but if I see one more injury from him, it's clear for him. I'm not gonna lie, because it's the quad injuries and the hamstring injury are racking up. I'll go Brandweight for now. I see the people in the chat say Lukeba from Leipzig. As long as they don't give us that Guardiola price that I've seen them do to people.
Is he left-sided centre back though? Isn't it?
Yeah, he's left-footed centre back. I wouldn't mind him.
Schlotterbeck.
I like Nico Schlotterbeck. I wouldn't mind Inacio, like Charlotte mentioned. I do have some concerns about him, but depending on who our next coach is, my concerns might even get wiped away. Like if Amorim comes in as the next United coach, then go ahead and sign Inacio. I've seen what Amorim can do with him, so that's fine. So it's calm. We'll see what happens. But we need to sign a center back.
Silva. Not silver, not silver. Nah, guy, we can't get
Portuguese
silver. Man.
delict, man.
Yeah, Portuguese delay. Listen, okay, let's move on. Let's move on. So we don't know that Maguire and Evans. Listen, they're gonna go anyway. Man, in there. Let's
And
go
Lindelof
central
too,
midfield.
yeah.
Central midfield, guys. So we have Kobe Mainoo, Ericsson, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Ugarte, Mason Mount, and hey,
Collier.
and Collier. So 7 of them there. What are we saying about our midfield, man? Because ban them.
Did you say
I
Bruno
swear
Fernandes?
to-
Did you mention Bruno?
Yeah, Bruno. Yeah. Don't worry. We mentioned it.
Whole lot of mid. There you go. That's my definition of midfield. Whole lot of mid.
It's wallahi that area is wallahi is so
It's a
bad.
good player.
That area
I
is so
think
bad.
if you feel the right players, you could. That's a top 6, top 5 midfield. If you feel the right player, because I'm just telling you, go look at the rest of the teams in the Premier League. There are not that many.
They're good midfielders. They're good midfielders.
No, look through the bottom 10. There's not
the
many
bottom 10,
players
yeah.
you take. Then you're looking at the top 10. There's not that many you take. Now I was looking at Brighton's midfield.
Baleba,
Again,
Baleba
is a kid. This is what I'm talking about.
Did you watch
He's
him
a
against
kid.
Tottenham, bro?
Yeah, but he's a
Tottenham, he was
kid.
cooking.
I
He's
know
a kid.
But
He's a
broski,
kid.
Who?
He's a kid.
Who are you
He
talking
played
about?
well.
They have been developing him for like 2-3 years.
Bro,
Who are you
he's
talking
better
about?
than what we got, mate. Tell you
Look,
that.
it's easy to say that now, but they have been developing him for 2-3 years. Who knows
they're
what
going-
he'll be
they're getting
if
somewhere,
he
they're
comes to
getting
Manchester United, where we have to continue that development. I'm just saying, it's because again, Brighton, the way they play, it makes their players look so much better than they actually are. You have to be careful with the way you rate some of these players. Their system really makes their players shine. But for me, in the midfield, Mainoo is good. I don't think we have any problem there. Ugarte, we still need to see more of him. I don't think he's as bad as people are making out to be. You know, people need to remember the whole of last season, Amrabat did not play at all. You know, Ten Hag just decided not to use Amrabat. Casemiro is probably going to leave. You know, he doesn't have the legs. Maybe in a better team, he'd be a bench player. Maybe. Who else? Mount needs to be sold.
He's to be sold.
Mount needs to be sold.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Someone's buying him.
It's unacceptable. The amount of the number 7. He's wearing the number 7, guys.
Bro, you know, I was
He's
on
wearing the number
STS
7,
yesterday.
man.
I was on the STS yesterday, and they were saying to name number 7s, yeah. And we're going back and forth in it. And bro, they said you missed out on Mount. I said, yeah, because we haven't seen him play. You know what I'm saying, bro? I forgot his guy number 7.
No, I told you. We need to retire the number 7. It's bad juju.
No.
Oh my
We just need to
days.
stop
Once you-
doing
the
stupid
problem-
nonsense. I need to be in a room. I just want to be in a room with whoever had that conversation. You know what we should do? We should sign Mason Mount and give him the number 7. Why did that ever happen? It makes 0 sense. Why?
Yeah.
I think that guy
The
got
last
fired.
midfield that we gave number 7 wasn't it Brian Robson? Like, why would you give that to Mason Mount?
Yeah,
Brian, this
yeah.
is dangerous. Brian, this is
Robson or
dangerous.
Beckham, if you want to count as a midfielder.
As much as I want to sell Mason Mount, yeah, you got to remember you open up a can of worms because as soon as that shirt is vacated, who do you think they're going to give it to?
Nobody.
On my
Garnacho.
life, they give it. On my
You know
life,
who
they
you-
give it to Garnacho. I'm crashing
You know
out.
who they're giving it to.
I'm crashing out.
You know who they're giving it to.
That will go to
I'm
Garnacho, definitely.
And
I'm
then-
crashing
and then
out.
Saeed-
I'm crashing
and then
out.
Saeed-
With Garnacho.
If the development stagnates, yeah, and he ends up like Rashford 2.0, you're back in the same problem again.
No, Garnacho would be lucky to
so
get
this
Rashford.
is
So
why-
I'm saying, let's keep him.
Having the number 7 is a marketing. Like, do you remember who had number 5 before, after Zidane and before Jude Bellingham? Like, it was a whole lot of average players. It's just a marketing. The bigger concern is once you get for Mason Mount, yeah, once you get that many injuries, your body starts to deteriorate.
What's his
Like,
latest
it's-
injury?
it's-
What's his latest injury?
They didn't right.
It's
Give him a
another
run.
muscle.
Another
So his muscles,
another muscle.
there's something going on. There's an underlying issue with his body composition that means he's getting a lot of soft tissue injuries, a lot of
He's just
strains, a
cooked.
lot of hamstrings.
How do they not detect
It means-
this, though?
It means something's going wrong with his body, and once that happens, it's very hard for you to get back to where you were previously.
I
It's
know.
very
Estrella.
hard because,
They know.
and that's what's happening with the.
When
on-
they signed him,
They know.
Sorry?
Listen, when you do a comprehensive medical, you see this, you see all this.
in the scan.
Yes.
Yes.
You see, You see, do you know what it is?
Not on the medical, Brian.
No,
you don't see that on the medical.
You will see this stuff. I'm telling you, you will see this stuff.
What do you
Especially
mean
if they have muscle injuries, you will see it in their history.
No, of course, if there's an active injury, you're going to see it. But there's no active injury.
He had
a medical history.
Because this is what you need to pick out when you're doing a medical, is that under a certain level of stress, can your body stand up to that rigor? That's what the medical cannot tell. That only happens in intensive training sessions. So Mason Mount his body breaks down at a certain level of stress. It doesn't break down when he's jogging on a treadmill or when he's doing a medical. His body's fine then. He'll recover from an injury. But at training, at full speed, at 110%, that's when his body breaks down. So you're not going to pick that up on a medical. That doesn't make sense.
It's like someone trying to sign, what's his name? Rich James, right? His body's going to recover. But he's had injuries. He had injuries at Chelsea in his final year. Like he was out for quite a bit. But we still proceeded to go and sign him. There's nowhere the medical report did not show that this guy's had muscle injuries. We probably should be a little bit careful.
Yeah, but
before buying him for 60 million pounds.
This is, of course, but this is the other point: is that when you do a medical and you're going to transfer a player, there's an appetite. You need to have a certain appetite for risk. Yeah. So the club takes that appetite in, and then what they also do is go, all right, what's your history? And if your history is one big injury, two big injuries, they'll accept that player. But if it's Reece James, completely different story. Or if it's Mason Mount now, no one's going to want to sign him because of his injuries.
Because we're the idiots. We are the idiots that went and took the bait.
No,
when you don't sign that player, when United looked at whatever about this undisclosed history, when you look at his minutes played before he racked up those injuries, and you saw the amount of wear and tear that he's had in terms of minutes. Once those injuries start popping up, there's a very likelihood chance, whether it's on a training pitch, whether it's walking on a treadmill, whether it's walking to his crib, that the injuries are going to pile up. And Mason Mount played about every single match, every single minute for like a span of 4 years at a very young age. Those kind of the only time you sign a player like that that's played that many minutes and you risk the injury, if it's a superstar like Jude Bellingham, for example, he's played so many minutes like Mason Mount, but if he gets injured or not,
he's got quality.
He's that kind of player. Mason Mount, at the end of the day, was not that kind of player.
I don't even want to even make it about the injury because I think that's letting
quality.
Get out.
Talk about quality.
No, even about quality. The profile didn't make sense.
I know.
It made
especially when you got Bruno right there in front of you.
Because Ten Hag is going to come, and this is what pisses me off, is because it's like, if you're a coach and you're like, the club is going to give you 60 million pounds to sign a midfielder. Okay. I want a midfielder that controls the ball. Okay. Well, Mason Mount. It makes zero sense. Yeah. If you're a coach, I don't care. They can't. Even Ole said this. Manchester United will not force you to buy a player. You need to get your okay. He needed to give his okay, and Ten Hag at that time had veto power. You're telling me as a coach, I don't care. You're about to sign someone. You would at least watch a clip of him. He knew of Mason Mount.
He said he's going to be a most important player.
He did it.
Yeah. Did you watch his intro?
He wanted to.
No, but the thing is, guys, he said in his video, "Yo, you're going to be a very important player here." He did it, man. He did it. Whether
in
it's
his introduction,
I don't know.
Press conference.
Yeah. I'm going to be an important player.
The other thing is,
what's mad here? And just moving on to Mason Mount. This Maino, I'm a bit worried, guys, about this Maino, because boy,
Estrella called it. Estrella called it. I need to say, because Estrella was saying it at the time, we are going to we're going to cook this kid. Well, like his hamstrings are going to turn into bacon if we continue like playing this way. Like seriously. Like I'm just saying.
The other thing with Mainu is when you're at that age, 18, 19, 20, you actually need a solid preseason. You can't be going in from one big tournament straight into another season because your body's still developing. He needs to get stronger. He needs to add more muscle. He needs all those things. You need a 2-3 months preseason where your body can transform. That's why. Do you remember when Ronaldo was 18, 19, 20? He would come from, he'd finished the old season, his new season, and his calves would look 10 times bigger. And then the next season, he'd had a new muscle. The next season, that's what happens. Your body develops, and that's how you improve as an 18, 19-year-old. What we've done is we've put him from one rigorous Premier League season into a European Championship, into another Premier League season without no rest. So you can tell you can look in his eyes that he looks tired, he looks fatigued mentally and physically. And that's why you'll see some injuries pop up as well.
He shouldn't be playing every game.
People were gassing up his stats, saying, "Oh, he's making all these interceptions. He's making all these tackles." I was like, "Wow!" Like,
Crazy.
do you know the profile of player you have? You should not want that. Should not be happening to Menu. Like, genuinely, like that should not be happening.
Nope.
And it's gross mismanagement. When I see the number of players that keep withdrawing, having injuries, all that stuff, the way we manage our players, the way we use them, and the way we set up is just catered for muscle injuries. Like, these are human beings. These are people. They're not robots. So the way we play exposes players. So Menu is having to cover so much ground because that left-hand side we keep talking about, where we don't have a proper left back, and Rashford's work rate is not the best. That's where Menu is, and he has Martinez behind him as well. So the kid is cooked, man. I'm sorry, but he's getting physically destroyed because of how weak that area is in general. So
I don't like how everyone in the chat so quick to Menu should be starting for us, because this weren't the energy a couple of weeks before. This is why I don't like United fans. Why does it take for you guys to run this into the ground for you to see you shouldn't be starting to begin with? You should know this is bad parenting. You should know already. You should know already what you're doing. Just because he stayed at home once by himself and the house didn't burn down doesn't mean you now go and book a holiday to Ibiza and leave him there for a week. Come on, gradually ease. What's going on?
But you know what they do though, because we always need a savior, innit? United need a savior. It's Garnacho. It's Mainu. Man United fans, this is the savior, and Mainu has become the savior.
Just like the manager. I know you don't want to talk about the manager, but really quickly, it's like you don't want to get rid of him because you think he's going to be the next Fergie. No, even if he was the guy you want to keep him here, it's the guy to get you to this stage. He's not the guy to take us to the next place. And the guy that comes in is not going to be here for 20 years either. Managers don't stay at clubs like that for longer than 10 years now. It's even lucky what we're seeing with Pep and Klopp that just left now. So, like, I don't expect the next manager to be here for the next 10, 20 years. You're not going to get that again. You'd be very lucky if you do. So stop feeling this nostalgic attachment to people. But you're here for a reason. Once you've got me to a certain level, goodbye. And that's how you got to look at it now. That's how you got to look at it, especially with players as well.
Let's move on to Ugarte. You know what, man? Broski, you know what it is? I spoke about him in the summer. I was like, yo, we should get him in it. But I was thinking to myself, we're going to get two midfielders in it so he doesn't get exposed a lot here. But what do you mind saying about Ugarte? Is this like the earliest anyone's written off a player in terms of maybe not being the guy, Ugarte?
United fans are just so bad at judging players. Just so bad. I'm sorry. But you sign a destroyer midfielder.
Yeah.
What role do you want him to play in midfield? Where do we want to play Ugarte? I don't understand what we're trying to do with him. Like, I really don't. Like, I just don't understand what we're trying to do.
He should be a pressing 8, man. He's not a 6.
There you go.
He's a pressing 8, bro. He needs to be I'm not saying he's Kante here, but he needs to be charging up box to box, like just being that guy where we get the ball high up the pitch. He's that guy. He's not a guy who is gonna bro. I watched him against Liverpool. Was it Liverpool or Tottenham game? Tottenham game, last game we played, didn't it? Before we didn't play him against Porto and Villa. He played against Tottenham, yeah, bro. Tottenham were taking a piss here. Tottenham are probably one of the best pressers in the league here. He was getting the ball and he couldn't even barely do a half turn, guys. He could barely get the ball, look up, and then pass. He just kept shitting himself and passing to the guy next to him.
But Saeed,
that person, and I get it.
If you're doing a half turn, it's for a purpose. It's for a purpose. Yeah, you have to have someone you want to get the ball to. You can't just receive the ball and just half turn. Like, you half turn into 3 players behind you. It's pointless.
True.
Look, we've seen. Like, I'm not saying he's the most technically brilliant player ever. No, but in a functional team, he will do a good job. But we are not a functioning team. Our midfield is a shambles. Who is our most technical midfielder? Who's our most
technical? On Eriksen, probably.
Manu Eriksen.
Yeah.
We've seen Eriksen get robbed of the ball against 20. We've seen Manu get robbed of the ball constantly this season. So what hope does someone like Ugarte have?
Bro, I can't lie. I don't know, man. I just think for me, it's like, I can't judge fully Ugarte until a new manager comes in because it's like, bro, he's gonna get exposed and get like this next month here we got with this manager, bro. I swear down, guys. If Ugarte is playing, I think he'd become public number one with this United fan base without people knowing.
They made him the savior. Everybody was like, we just need a DM to fix our midfield. Anybody with their brain was like, nah, that's not all we need, guys. Calm down. We just don't need a DM. So United fans are pissed off because they think they wasted money on a player, and now they want to blame him for everything when it's not his fault. There's no DM that can fix this team. There's no DM in the world that can fix this team.
The thing is, before we signed Ugarte, there was a healthy amount of skepticism about that signing. United fans, they're like, "Why are we signing Ugarte?" A lot of United fans were saying that before we signed.
That is true.
There was a lot of people were skeptical, and even I remember I was listening to the overlap, and if you want to listen to somebody about midfield players, Scholes knows what he's talking about. He goes, we need somebody that can help control the tempo of the game. We don't have enough players that can help slow it down if we need to slow it down, speed it up if we need to speed it up. That's where I think if we get that, and people talk about we have to get the defense right first. That's what I hear a lot of people. If we don't get the defense right, but the thing is, once you can protect your defense through your midfield by controlling the ball, controlling the pace of the ball, not giving up the ball, then it eases the pressure on everybody else. You start from the middle and you work your way out. And I was never a fan of the Ugarte signing. We needed somebody technical in there. We need somebody that can distribute the ball, that can keep the ball, that can wriggle out of tight situations. So
you're asking for a unicorn, if I'm being totally honest with you. You're asking for a unicorn. Like, name me a player that can do all that.
I don't think I am.
Only one.
Just one player that can protect the defense, turn out of pressure, pass the ball like goals.
Obviously, Rodri's the best at it. But somebody like Rodri. We needed somebody that was a technical player like Rodri. Not Rodri. Obviously, you're not going to get that caliber of player. Rodri wasn't Rodri when Pep signed him.
I like Tonali, you know. I really like Tonali, you know. I don't know about you guys, but
he's not that guy. Saeed.
I like him. I like him player, man. You don't like
He's an aggressive beast.
I thought you said Ugarte's like Tonali. Never mind.
People were saying like he's like Pirlo. He's nothing like Pirlo.
No, he's not nothing like Pirlo.
He's got Tuso. He's got Tuso.
That's what I'm saying. It's more of a vibe.
That's true. Yeah, he's more like a Tuso.
He had the nice long Italian hair, and people thought he was pretty.
We should have got Zubimendi, man. We should have got
Zubimendi.
Zubimendi.
Can I just add
somebody like him. Yeah, he's a cheap version of Rodri. He's an inferior version of Rodri. Just can we get a technical player in there? That's all. Once we get that means we're not giving up the ball so easily in dangerous areas, and then that means you're not exposing your defenders one-on-one in transition situations.
That's
at
not
the moment
the
we expose
reason.
our defenders to so many transition situations we can't protect them, and that's why we look. And sometimes they look so awful.
That's not the reason. That's not the main reason, though, Ange. It's not the main reason. Yes, I agree with you 100%. We need more technical, physical midfielders. But the way we set up our midfield is diabolical. Like it's just there's no. We are going to kill any midfielder we put into this team, especially if we play them with Bruno Fernandes. You're asking for too much. It's too much on one guy. So let's say we get two really good midfielders, right? Even at that, because of the way we play with Bruno, you're still asking for too much because they will get crowded out in midfield because most teams have 3 guys, 4 guys, even 5 guys in midfield. It's too much for you. Can't we keep doing this thing where we are like we just need no.
We need a lot, man. We need
any player you bring in is gonna suffer. Like I pity.
This summer we potentially might lose. We're gonna lose Eriksen. We're gonna lose Casemiro.
That's not a given.
Mason Mount is 50-50 give and go. Collier might go on loan, depending. I don't think Collier's gonna, bro. People said breakout season. I don't see Collier ever making it.
People forget he's already 21. He's already 21.
No, but let's be honest, man. At 2021, you need to be made it by now. Let's be honest, man.
There's better food in the academy. Don't worry.
Yeah, exactly, man. So let's write off Collier. No disrespect.
He looks raw.
So. But we're gonna wait. What 3 seasons? We're gonna wait. We need 3 midfielders basically. Again, let's be honest.
We need 3 midfielders, so we need to save some money, and it's gonna be hard because you can't get everything you want. So
But, so,
if you can kind of convince him and you want to replace Bruno Fernandes, right? We'll play differently. The only reason why I won't consider this guy Angel Gomez,
yeah.
because he's on a free,
Oh, free.
is
Run it.
because of his physical profile. But if you're saying he's going to play the Bruno/Eriksson role, where he's just there to control, play off the ball,
Yeah.
technically brilliant, but physically
Very good.
whatever. But, so I guess we'll have to see. But the other two midfielders is what matters too. Like, how do you want to structure your midfield? Like, what do you want? Would
this work with Angel Gomez, Ugarte, and a Bruno work in midfield?
No.
Or
No, Jesus,
Bruno.
no.
Angel Gomez.
Any midfielder Bruno, no.
No, but I'm just saying it because, bro, I just know that this guy, if he's here and breathing and living in My United, he's starting. So
Then
I'm
we
just
should-
kind of almost saying, you know
we should
what? In
pack
my
up.
head, Bruno is
I don't know.
starting.
We
I
just
think
gave him a
I think
new.
he's gonna
The
leave.
thing
I
is,
think
we
he's
just
gonna
gave him a new contract until
That's what I'm
2027.
saying, guys, man. So Bruno's in the team whether we like it or not. So put Bruno in the 10 for now and now build the other two. Because, guys, Bruno
Wait,
can't-
why do you think Casemiro is going to go next season as well, by the way?
come on, bro. We're just about barely baited this season. I reckon he's just keep
He's got
cashing on
2
the
years
money.
left and he's got another year left on his deal, no?
Nah, man, he's gonna check out, man. This
Nah,
season,
United might accept like a 10 mil offer for him and just
10 million offer. Trust me.
Everyone all thought Harry Maguire was going to go this
No
summer.
one
He's
came
clever,
for him
he's
last
clever.
year.
Bro.
I
You
think
know
we
he's
would've-
clever. Casemiro's clever. You know why? Yeah, he's just got a minority stake in some team. Yeah, called I think is it in Marbella? I think it is. I don't know. He's got a minority stake in a football team. Yeah, and he's earning 350 grand a week. What is that per year? Does anybody know his salary per year, guys? So he's basically saying to himself, you know
14
what?
million.
Yeah. So he's saying, yo, let me just rack up some money for one more year, and that's what he's doing. Fair play to him. He's bro. What go to Saudi Arabia and not probably got that wage. You never know. Saudi Arabia this summer they're not moving the way they were moving. They're looking
No,
at
the money's
different-
dried up.
No, it's not. No, the money's not dried up. They now attack. They're going to get young talent from Brazil now. They've got a lot of Brazilian talent now. They're going to Saudi Arabia, so they're going the different angle. They're not. No, but they're not doing the whole get these players.
Depends. So if they still
Who
want
they got?
some
Who they got this
publicity, if they still want some publicity, signing someone
You've got
like
to bring a big name.
Casemiro
Broski.
makes sense. But
They
I
would have
don't
done
know.
that this summer.
I don't know if it will happen. Like, I don't know if it will say. I'm not that bothered about having someone like Casemiro on your bench.
Yeah, I'm not
really
bothered as well.
I'm really
the
not
fan
that
base do.
bothered. I'm
The
really
fan
not
base
bothered
do.
because we need, like Saeed said, we need 3 midfielders to start. So we need to first of all agree. We need to what formation, how we want to play them. Do you want to play 2 6s and a 10, or do you want to play 2 8s and a 6?
2 8s and a 6 for me. I want to
2
do
8s
that.
and a 6. So Bruno Fernandes cannot be in there. He cannot be in there. So we need to take him out. So let's just slide Bruno to the side. Who can we all agree should be a number 6 we should sign?
Oh my days, man. The 6
I
market
like the
is
look
dead.
of somebody like a Zumbandi. I want somebody that can receive the ball from the defenders under pressure. That's going to help us keep and then make simple passes. Distribute the ball either a 5-10 meter pass.
Varela.
or
Varela is good.
He's got to leave him.
No, not Barella.
So, is that the type of profile you want? Is that the type of profile you want?
Yeah,
I'll take him.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, man. Listen, no Belebo. I don't think for me.
Who's
Brighton will
who's the Mali international that we signed? Kunde? Is it?
Kone, bro. He ain't ready,
Kone.
man. He ain't ready.
He needs to.
He's
Gonna have to hit he's gonna have to hit
He
the
looks malnourished, doesn't he?
What about the Premier League? Why are we looking abroad? Why do we look at the Premier League? Let's look at this Bruno Gomes. You rate him? You rate
He ain't
him?
gonna. He's too. But we ain't got the money for him. So
yo, sorry, we don't got money on trees, bro.
we ain't got money for him.
We can't
100 million.
No, I'm
100
just
million.
saying it's the option, isn't it? Bruno
No, it's
Gomes.
not 100 million.
I'm not right. I will look at
They won't go
Wolves.
100 million. They won't go 100 million.
If Declan Rice went for 100 million to Arsenal, there's no way Newcastle not saying 100 million for Mahrez.
No, but that was last summer.
I
Adam
promise-
Morton.
I would look at
You know.
Wolves. I think I would look at Wolves who are probably high relegation candidates right now. I look at Andre.
Nah, he won't leave
John
after
Gomez.
1 year, man. He won't leave after one
If
year.
they get relegated, you think that guy singing the championship? He's saying
yeah.
adios.
I think
Goodbye,
signing a Premier League player is going to be too expensive given all the other pressing needs.
But then what the market, for DMs is so bad, guys, man. I'm
I
honest
think
with you.
I don't honestly. The thing with the DM is you don't even need to sign like a legit DM. There's not that many like true sixes out there anyway. Just sign a midfielder that has a defensive nous about him that can get stuck into a tackle and that can also just kick ball. That's all you gotta do. Because at the end of the day,
Isn't that
you're
Ugarte?
sick. That's the thing is,
Ugarte?
That's why he
no,
got
I
it.
don't think Ugarte can kick ball like that. That's my issue with him.
People keep talking about Angelus Stiller, and I've seen a couple of clips.
Who's that?
He plays
The guy from
in
Stuttgart.
Germany, so he plays for Stuttgart.
So go and get the manager,
So-
innit? You know what
So
I mean?
people keep talking about him. I don't know. The kind of six I want is very. I like Højlund from. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. From Sporting. For me, that would be the guy I would go for. I think he has a 65 million release clause. Has good height, good physical build. Is he perfect? No, but that would be my preference.
Question: How long
What's the
do we want
Greece guy?
this?
The Greece guy. What's the Greece one? The DM tonight apparently was cooking tonight.
we ain't
Greek
signing.
one.
No, I'm not. No, we're not doing that.
I'm gonna ask, how long do we want this
Yo,
DM?
keep Greek players. I'm gonna be real. Obviously, I said the guy earlier. But keep Greek players far away from this football club. I do not want my countrymen associated with this football club ever in my life.
Why? So we can't cook him?
Nah, because I have a golden generation on the cusp right now, and I'm not trying to get it ruined by Manchester United. I'm gonna be real.
Wow, that is crazy.
I got
Country
shit,
over club,
cooking.
you know.
I
Man.
got shit cooking. I got shit cooking on the stove right now. I'm trying to convince the Belgian star boy soon Caretas to join Greece as well. I'm trying to let that cook. I don't want United to come in this, and they're gonna try to play my 10 at left.
United ruined players, man. It's
Yo,
mad.
say, how long do we want this 6 for though as well? Though? Like, I need to know what are you asking me right now in January or long term? Because
No,
if
it has to be summer.
Long term.
I would have wanted a player like Ruben Neves if he didn't go to Saudi,
Yeah. Okay.
or Leon Goretzka if he was.
You know what, Edison? What, bro? What? Yo, Edison, man, them. Edison, we forgot about him. He's cold. But the thing is with me, he likes to go forward. He's just like another Fred Regen. He loves to go forward. You got Manu Kone, who, you know, big up HKN. If he's watching, he was talking about him. I think Kaz was talking about him as well.
He's just joined. He's just joined. He's gonna leave again.
Lavio. You know what? Would Lavio join United, you reckon? If
He
we
probably would.
him?
He could get shipped out, but no, I wouldn't spend the money.
You know, because we got Jason Wilcox. Man, them. You know what I mean? I know
I'm on to that guy, by the way.
Shall we run this in Matisse's property, man? You know the ones that he's not here right now. So let's run this now. Lavio, what we saying, man? Them.
Not for 50 million. If you're doing it for 30, 35, I'll take him.
Yeah.
I'll definitely take him. Young enough to still
Jason
develop.
Wilcox, though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But then again, Jason, was Jason Wilcox there when he was there? I don't think so.
Was he?
Was he there? Someone look online. Jason Wilcox.
Actually, it might have been Joe Shields. I lied.
I think it's Joe Shields.
Briggs, there's a deal there to be done. Though.
Yeah. I don't know why he said 30 million.
He was.
Who said 30 million? Did you say 30 million?
Estrella.
Yeah.
Estrella, you said.
Do you know why?
Man,
Do you know why?
30 million. Are you crazy?
Listen to the maths. How much did Chelsea buy him for?
I think it was 50
million, yeah. And he hasn't had that many appearances, yeah, and it's a heavy squad. Secondly, one of our players, Sancho, is on loan to them already, so they could work out a discrepancy.
No, they're gonna pay 25 million regardless.
Yeah, but they're gonna pay 25 regardless. But I'm saying if they could easily find a discrepancy or disparity sell where they go, we'll make it a bit cheaper. Take some money.
Who do you think they are, bro? Listen.
This is best in class.
We might have helped them. Hold on a minute. We might have helped them, but do you think they're helping us? No way. This was more of a fantasy one. This is more kind of a, look at the Chelsea fans in the chat, moving mad. But I think for me, it's just a case of, you know what? We're just dreaming, isn't it? We're just chatting right now. But let's move on.
Quickly though, how much for Lavio though?
In my head, you're spending 50 million a max.
Anybody know how Neves is doing?
Nah, bro. If you don't know what he's doing, then
he's playing well.
He's playing in an advanced
We're never getting him.
He's playing in an advanced role. I told people, this is Bruno Fernandes replacement. People said I was being stupid. He's not a number 6. He's not playing number 6 for them.
But he's always been like a 10ish kind of type. When he was at, remember Wolves, when he started,
he's a number 8, but he's box to box. People wanted this guy to be a number 6. This is why I don't take United fans seriously. I don't know. How is he going to be at number 6?
Let's move on. Guys, it's 1.7K in the building. Guys, get these likes on, man. How many likes are we currently on? We're on 554. You lot are disgraced right now. 1,000 people are not liking the video. So please hit the like button and subscribe to everyone's channels. Yeah, Decorate Palace is a shout as well. Big up Ash in the building.
No.
Let's look at wingers. Let's look at wingers before we look at the 2 forwards, because we only got 2 strikers, right? Wingers. Anthony, Rashford, Garnacho, Diallo. That is it. 4 wingers we got.
No, 6. We got 5.
No. Garnacho, Diallo, Rashford, Anthony.
That's
We're
it.
not missing one.
Missing one.
We had Sancho, he's gone.
Oh, yeah,
Greenwood's
Sancho,
gone.
yeah. Is that 4, guys? Is that 4?
Yeah, we got 4.
That's
2 on each. 2 on
I
each.
think we got 4, yeah.
Listen,
Oh, we're classifying Joshua as a striker, not a winger as well.
I can't lie, man.
Yeah, he's a
Brother,
striker.
man. You know what I mean? Let me just give everyone one of these, man, because wallahi, that is right there. It deserves a brother. Have I got the
have
brother
it.
right here?
What, for our wingers?
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Yeah, that deserved that one. I can't lie. Our wingers are khashin, bro. It's rubbish. Our wingers, I can't lie to you, man. It's probably the worst in the league.
I don't think they're rubbish.
What do you
I
mean?
don't think they're as bad as. I don't think they're as bad as.
Apart from Ahmad, yeah, and Rashford ain't played bad this season. I'm not gonna crash it on Rashford too much this season.
Garnacho.
I don't think he's played. Garnacho, come on, my brother. Bro, I'm the one that tries to back him, yeah, when all the mandem don't rate him. And even I'm thinking he ain't really good enough, man.
Bro, I don't care what anyone tells me. He's a kid. He's still
Amen.
developing.
Bro, forget the kid, man.
Amen.
Broski. Mandem like Lamine Yamal is doing bits, bro. Come on, man. Forget the
But
kid.
here's
not
the thing, though.
He's not
Here-
Lamine. He's
Different
not
platform.
Lamine.
No, but
Yamal.
I'm just saying, though, for me, yeah, it's like right now, he's just not the guy, bro. You cannot rely on Garnacho.
100%.
You're telling me you're going into next
100%.
season, you're relying on Garnacho. He needs to be squad player.
No one's
I'm
not saying. I'm not saying that, but right now I'm confident with our wingers. Stop doing that. He's a kid. He's a kid. You're doing the same thing as Stevie Mainu. He's a kid.
I'm gonna be real now. It's at the difference is though. It's year 3 now. It's year 3, and he's like last year. At least you could tell that maybe he had a little bit of development, being able to play on the right hand side. He showed a little bit progress there. But this season, first of all, I'm seeing him have the green light and just shooting about 8 shots a game for no reason. He gets the ball and shoot on sight. Nothing else is happening. It's just shoot on sight. And just the concerns and the attributes that you see from him, you can tell when someone, especially as a forward, they have certain skills that you could just tell, okay, they're going to be a top class player one day, or they're just going to be, like Saeed mentioned, a squad player. His ball striking still very, very inconsistent. The pace, he's really not that quick. He got a little bit of speed sometimes, but he gets out muscled very, very easily. Another thing, the strength, the core strength, not really good. Any player can move to him very quickly. They'll just throw him to the floor, and he'll just complain all that kind of stuff. I guess Saeed's internet just cut out or something like that. So he's a good play. He's a solid player in terms of like he could be a winger, like maybe a 6-man, as we say in basketball, maybe come off the bench, stuff like that, impact player. But as a starter, if United ever want to be competing for the big trophies and stuff like that, Garnacho cannot be a starter on the wing. He's just not good enough for that. And it's not a detriment to him or anything like that. Certain players just have the attributes to be, because even you talk about, you want to compare him to like Rashford. Rashford at 19, you could tell under the right coach, if someone worked with him, you could develop him into something. Obviously, that never happened. You're not going to get that.
Just to add to that, Rashford was a much better talent than Garnacho. When they were coming through, when Rashford had natural pace that Garnacho just doesn't have. He's a much better striker of the ball than Garnacho.
The striking.
He's a much better striker of the ball than Garnacho. The thing is, Garnacho, he's a poor finisher. You know what infuriates me? It's the fans singing Viva Garnacho, that song. That song infuriates me. Because they make him out to be like a messiah. Like he's a standout player within our team. And I'm like, what are you singing his name for? This guy's not a very good footballer. The thing is, if you're a winger, yes, Brian.
I was just going to say that's the club's fault. It's not the fans' fault, it's the club's fault. Because we are propping him up to be this thing, and the club are propping him up to be this thing, when we haven't yet told him this is your role in the team. The manager played him how many games straight last season? Like back to back to back to back. Like, like, come on. Like, this is no way to develop a player. So for me, United fans need to decide, what do you guys want? Do you guys want wingers or do you want inside forwards? We don't even know what we're doing. Like, we play a false 9 type striker with wingers.
Depends on my midfield. Also depends like what the midfield looks like and stuff like that. If you have like what's called, if you have like a workman midfield, like let's say Liverpool for example, right? The midfield that they had under Klopp, like the Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. If you have that kind of midfield, then yeah, you need your inside forwards, a la Mane, Salah, that kind of stuff. But if you have a midfield that has a creative player in there, I'm not talking like a Bruno level creativity, even like a Menu, and I know you mentioned Angel Gomez earlier. Those guys can create. They don't, but and their level of and their type of creation is different than a Bruno where they spam the ball into the box, stuff like that. They'll do little intricacies and stuff like that with the false 9. Then you can get away with having more kind of like Brian mentioned wide players. You could have your Vichas of the world.
Yeah, man.
So yeah.
Griggs,
Wi-Fi stinking hooked.
Griggs, when you said
Where do we leave? Where do we leave, man? Where do we leave?
We're talking about like the kind of wingers that we want.
Griggs, you see when you just said that about Liverpool, yeah? When Mane and Salah had poor games, yeah, did you ever see them walking back?
No, they press like dogs.
Did you ever see Klopp having to compensate for let's let Mane stay up there, doesn't have to really track back. Let's just fit. Did you ever see that? Was everyone moving as a unit? So when I hear the comparisons, let's be totally transparent. I don't see Rashford doing that. Like, and you don't do what these players do for their respective clubs. So I don't like the comparison. That's just my point. That's just my bit on it.
Can we go back to the point where we talk about Garnacho? Yeah. So you believe Garnacho is good enough?
No.
All right. Okay. So what will you disagree with me then?
No, I was saying I think he's good enough right now. As in, when you're saying we've got terrible wingers, I don't think so. I think we've got quite decent wingers in the Premier League. I don't think Garnacho, same as Kobe Manu, should be starting for United.
Yeah, Garnacho is good enough to be in the team, Saeed. He's not good enough to start. I just think that's
okay. That's fair. That's what I'm just trying to say, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I think the other thing is, if we're smart, because I don't think his value is going to increase too much. I think if we're smart, we get a really good offer. Yeah, I don't think his value. If we're smart and we get a really good offer for him, I'd sell him. I would, like, if we get a $50 million offer.
I always said, if a club ever offers 60 mil or more for Garnacho, I'm selling him with it.
I'm selling him as well. Facts.
I don't think he's any
the thing
better.
Is,
I don't think he's better than
Estella,
the
thing is, he's like, and somebody made this point before, like, he's not blistering quick for an elite winger. Like, if you're talking about the top wingers, he's not somebody that's just going to beat you for pace or whatever. But then he's not that. And then the other point is, he's not a good decision maker. If you're not that quick, you can afford to be not that quick if you're an amazing decision maker. That if you're able to slip people through, if you're able to find 1-2s, he doesn't do any of that. He just thinks, I'm going to run at you and carry the ball, and then he'll inevitably lose it. And they sing his name at Old Trafford like he's the next Ronaldo. And
bro, it's crazy. He's nowhere near Ronaldo, guys. Please, he's not. He's not probably got 1/5 or anything of Ronaldo. Nothing reminds me of Ronaldo.
Is he being coached?
The other thing is, he said he's going to go.
Coach,
my dreams to play for Madrid. My dreams to play for Madrid. Get out of here.
As a bench player, as someone who can come off the bench and excite you for the last 15, 20 minutes, he's the guy for you. But unfortunately, after that, it's nothing, guys. I'm sorry.
I think his mentality will get him far.
In the next 10 goals. I still wouldn't believe. Wi-Fi's gone. Yeah. So you would be the starter. You would be the starter. That's it.
I think his mentality will get him far, and he has some useful traits, like you said, off the bench. But if we're building a team to win the Premier League, win the Champions League eventually, for me, United need attackers that can almost create things for themselves more so. Yeah. You know?
Let's talk about
You can cope with maybe having your number 9, rely off goals, right? You can do that. But I think the two attackers, Ahmad is a system attacker.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ahmad, because there was that video that I played a couple of weeks ago, and it was a good one. Is he cut out for this Premier League to be, because when he's in Premier League, I feel like you have to be a selfish kind of almost like you gotta be a killer. Like, in Saka, people might not rate him in it, but he will get the goals, he will find his way to get them assists, he will make things happen. I love Amad Diallo, but do you reckon he's just not being himself in this Man United team because he doesn't want to maybe piss off and maybe a Bruno. Maybe he's too much people pleasing, if you know what I mean. Like he's too concerned about everyone else, or is he just not the guy that we need in our team? And maybe
it's the system.
You know what
It's
it
the
is,
system.
Saeed? You know what it is? He's playing when I watch him play this year, and I like him a lot too. Is that he's playing within himself. You can tell that he's playing within himself. He's not playing with the freedom and the expression that we saw him play for Sunderland. You know, when he's Sunderland, he started slow there at Sunderland. And then he eventually got his confidence. The fans started singing his name, and he started throwing himself into the crowd and scoring wonder goals. And he'd impact the game in so many ways. I feel like he needs a coach that believes in him 100%. That isn't going to drop him after half a bad game, because
that's what I'm saying.
Somebody to trust him, to believe in him, say, hey, I believe in you, you're in my team. Like he did with Garnacho last year. Garnacho, he'd play him through all those bad games, whereas Ahmad he's not afforded that luxury. And the other thing is, it's also on Ahmad. I'm not going to. He has to take accountability in the sense that he needs to play with more arrogance, like a bit more like, I know I'm better than you, arrogance. I still feel he lacks confidence in himself a little bit, you know? So, hopefully it's an interesting time because he's been at the club for 4 or 5 years now, and if things don't turn quickly...
Yeah, listen, let him. My man employs...
He's my favourite winger out of all our wingers. He's but without doubt.
Can you have arrogance? Is it something that you can teach, or is it something that you just are?
No, you can't teach arrogance. It's very hard to teach arrogance at the top level. Like obviously, Ange mentioned Sunderland. I had this concern about Ahmad. At Sunderland, he was the top dog. The built was team around him. Tony Mowbray said, "You're my best player. I'm gonna build my team through you." And the thing about that is, he went back to United, where he's obviously not the top dog anymore. He has a player like Bruno, right, who might not be better than him, but obviously are higher on the chain. How would Ahmad kind of insert himself into the team? Because naturally, he's a timid guy. He has a timid personality, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I agree, the arrogance. Maybe on the wing, he will not have the arrogance to cut out in the Prem, because you do have to be selfish on the wing. You do have to have moments where, like, yes, you could be an amazing creator, but there's moments, Saka, obviously, who's one of the better creators, there's moments where he'll just get the ball and he'll just smack the ball. He'll just shoot it. Maybe he won't go for a goal and stuff like that, but it's a moment of magic that he'll shoot it and maybe causes a save that gets maybe the team amped up, the crowd amped up. Those kind of moments. Ahmad might not have that. The good thing about Ahmad is that he doesn't have to be a wing in the Premier League. I think he could be a midfielder. You see him the way he plays for Ivory Coast. Maybe not under Ten Hag, obviously, but maybe under the next coach. If Ahmad is still here, he could develop into that. But I do think arrogance. I wish he had Garnacho's mentality in life when he plays football. I wish he had.
I just think it's the system.
That's the thing.
His mentality.
No, I do agree. The system does, because like we're still a left-handed side dominant, dominant side.
Left side dominant.
The ball as much and he's the type of player for me that needs to. Ahmad should be having the most touches of the ball in our attack. It should never be Rashford. It should never be Bruno. It should never be Xerxes. Maybe he should be having Garnacho.
Yeah, I just listen to this comment. The confidence comes from the coach. The confidence, Saka wasn't like always like this. He was a shy guy, normal guy. Like he wasn't arrogant or anything. I'm not saying that he is now, but you can see he's put himself on the pitch a lot more with confidence and everything, because his form has been incredible. But we're not seeing that with Ahmad, because one, I don't know how the relationship with our right back is non-existent. We don't really have any right-sided midfielder in that position. We don't have any relationship with his striker. So who is he building a relationship with?
That's what I'm saying.
Ahmad and Xerxes were kind of building something a little bit, but then Xerxes dropped and Ahmad is dropped, and that's not been allowed to develop. I'm not saying he's the world's best right winger, but like if he was playing at Brighton, Manchester United fans would be saying we should sign this guy.
I know, but that's it with everyone. Okay, let's move on to Anthony. Is he lost cause for everyone, or do you still believe one more manager can save him?
No,
Anthony.
He's a lost cause. We should not even waste time with Anthony.
Okay.
I've said loan him out.
Okay, that's a shout.
Loan him out. He's 23, I think.
Hey, Ten Hag.
No, he's not. He's 20. He's 24.
Why should I have faith in him?
Is he 24
Ten
or
Hag's
23,
given up on him.
guys?
What's that?
His attitude
He's 23.
stinks. I'm sorry.
He's 23 in it. He's 23. Why should you have faith in him?
Oh, is he?
I'm saying that Ten Hag doesn't even play him anymore. Then why should
it's
we
not
have
discussion. I think you should just loan him to retain monetary value. One more season ain't gonna hurt. Maybe you regain some form out on loan, and we can get more money for you. I don't think just to get rid of him straight away. He's 23.
He has the confidence of Cristiano, but the ability of Bebe. He's
Yeah.
useless.
I'm not lying, yo. That's disrespect to Bebe. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
No, he's bad. He's one of he comes on the pitch and does whatever he wants. He just does
I
whatever he
know.
wants. I
I
hate his
still laugh
attitude.
at the clip of him when Ten Hag asked him to play left back, and he was losing his shit on the sidelines. He's like,
Like, I'm
how
not
dare
like-
you ask?
I gotta tell you that. Who are you to say that not follow your coach's instructions? Like you've been doing anything in your past 18 months at Manchester United?
I
If you
know,
gotta
just
play
do the
left back, you
role
gotta
for
play
the
left
team.
But when Rashford does it, other players, it's not the same energy though.
Yeah, he's
so like,
24. I was gonna say.
back. Why are you gonna play Rashford left back? There's no point in it.
no, it don't matter. It don't matter though. When Rashford's been asked to play up front as well, he's throwing his toys out the pram. Going, I want to play on the left. No one said. That's what I said. Keep the same energy for everyone. Like I'm in the corners with you. Like it's unacceptable. Like play where you're told to play, but have the same energy for everyone else. I said Anthony's not a big problem for me. Learn him out, retain some value, get him gone. My main thing is going to the striker, and I know Saeed's waiting for it. The same problem you have in midfield with Ugarte is the same problem you have up front with Højlund. And I believe Brian will agree with me.
Højlund and Xerxes. Both
Yeah.
of
Also,
them.
and Zutski's what-
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Zutski.
yeah.
Both of them.
Okay,
But
okay.
Just on
I
Anthony,
was just-
before we
Yeah.
just on Anthony, is he pound for pound the worst signing in football
No.
history?
No.
In football
I
history,
think
no.
Mason Mount's a worse sign than.
I was going to say availability, bro. No.
I'm
Mason
not gonna lie.
How-
You could
Europa
make-
League
you could
run.
make
He had a
the-
good
nah,
Europa
you
League
could-
run.
You could definitely make the argument that Mason Mount's a worse sign because at least Anthony has given me moments.
Moments,
They were
yeah.
they were very limited moments, but at least even though the
He's
Barcelona
giving you
But he's-
moments.
One's 100 million euros. That's the other thing. It's 100 million
Mason
euros.
Mount was like
versus-
70 million euros. Mason Mount was like 70 million euros. He ain't far
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
Once you get into that range, 100 mil, 70 mil, I'm gonna be real.
So
You're fucked right away.
So just a yes or no. Griggs, would you give him another manager to kind of work with and then sell him?
No,
or
send
sell
him
him.
to Flamengo.
Also, Elite Pundit, what are you saying, Brian?
We need
him,
to sign.
Summer?
We need to sell him. Sign another right winger.
Okay, cool. Let's go to the attack. You know what I mean? Guys, smash a like. We need 800 likes before this stream ends, you know. There's 1.5k of these in here. No,
Sorry.
we need 800 likes, guys. 800 likes. Striking Xerxes Højlund. First of all, let's go to Xerxes because listen, there's a lot of debate on it. I had a debate with Flex on Monday. He says we need a bit more from Xerxes. Xerxes, yeah. And you know what it is, yeah? Without bashing Xerxes, yeah, without kind of going to some kind of almost like mad conclusions, yeah. Give me your honest opinions on Xerxes. Honest opinions.
Stupid signing.
Oh shit. Give me. Okay, give me. You said 2 words, yeah. You give me 2 words, Griggs, and then we'll kind of assess it. 2 words on Xerxes. Just 2 words.
I think solid.
Oh, just 1
player.
word.
Solid player.
Just a sentence.
Solid player. Okay. Ange, what are you saying?
I like him, but he's got some big flaws.
Okay, and then Brian, last one.
I think he's a useful profile in the squad.
Useful profile. Okay. My thing is, give him time. That's my thing, guys. I believe this guy is going to be a good player for us. I get it. He's not a prolific goal scorer. But you know what? Again, Man United fans, you don't do your research. You didn't do your research. It's not my fault you didn't do your research. When we were buying him, go and watch his profile at Bologna. I did an interview with my man. You know what a Bologna fan said? You know what he said? You have to give Xerxes time. He said it's like a flower. You know when a flower start, it's small, right? But you know what it does? It blossoms. It blossoms. And that's what Xerxes, he told me, yo, you're going to have to be patient. The first couple of months, it's going to be a bit, but once he gets it right and it clicks, you're going to be eating, he said. You're going to be loving life.
He
that's
seems
the
like
thing
the
with
kind of
Xerxes.
guy that needs a lot of love, and I don't know
He
if
needs a
Ten
lot of
Hag.
love. Look
I
at
don't
the
know if
fan
Ten Hag
base,
is the coach for
No,
him.
he's
if
not
I'm
the
being
guy
honest.
for him. He
If I'm being
dropped
honest,
him, man.
every single striker we've had under this manager has struggled. There's a reason why I'm not going to like say sell Xerxes, sell Højlund. Every single, every single. No, but he didn't score goals.
I know. That's how bad it is.
Like every single striker, I mean, we're playing him number 10 too. Every single striker we've signed has just struggled. And people are going to say, "Oh, we should have signed Harry Kane." The way we play is a dead man shift for any striker. It's a dead man shift. There's no relationship between the attackers.
I know.
I've never seen a team have zero relationships like this. There's no relationships between the forwards at all. That flick he did to Anthony just confirmed it for me that this team are just the attackers there. I don't know what they're doing. Patterns coached or anything. There's nothing. So for me, I wanted Cunha. That was the guy I wanted. I know why I wanted Cunha. Cunha is my guy. He has what,
Cunha
3-4 Premier League. He's a baller. Like Manchester United fans will not look his way because what? He plays for Wolves. They don't watch Wolves. Wolves is one of the teams that you probably don't watch a lot in the Premier League. But anytime I watch this guy, he has a good performance.
Bro, he's
without
a
scoring.
He's
always
everywhere.
on it.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
always
yeah,
on it.
Didn't we try to sign him?
He's the type of guy
Didn't
that
we try to
United
sign
fans
him?
love. Yeah, we did.
With love.
We tried to sign him before he went to Wolves.
Yeah,
This was this was Ten Hag's first season.
Was it Ten Hag?
First transfer
Yeah,
window.
it was.
I think
It was-
our
it was-
scouts
it was
again.
Ten Hag.
Our
It was before
scouts.
that against Ragnick. Yeah.
Our scouts always identify the right players, but we never go for them.
And he
We
was,
should have
you know
gone
what he
for
was?
Cunha.
Because you know what it was? I think it was because obviously Ragnick was at Leipzig, in it, and the model. And guess where he came from before he came to Atletico Madrid?
No, this was
It was
after
Leipzig.
Ragnick.
No,
This
but
was
I'm
after
saying
Rangnick.
the links were coming when Ragnick was there. Like because he was at Atletico Madrid at that time, and the links were a bit stronger at that time.
Atletico, Leipzig, and Hoffenheim. He was at the Hoffenheim.
But he'd already
Yeah.
left and Ten Hag was in
And,
charge.
and you know
I
what?
remember.
It's funny enough. The Hoffenheim kind of the school of Hoffenheim with the Brazilian strikers, the Joe Lintons, the Firminos,
Joe
the
Lennon,
Cunhas.
yeah.
Listen,
It's-
Cunha and
crazy,
Zexi are
man.
not that. I said that Cunha and Zexi are not that similar. They have some similar traits where like Cunha can drop into midfield and link play, but Cunha can play on the wing. He has
He's
pace.
explosive.
He
He's
can
explosive,
shoot.
man.
He can dribble. He can carry. This guy is hard to stop. His carrying numbers in the Premier League are one of the best. Like
One-man press.
anytime I watch this guy, he's a joy to watch as a player, man. I'm hoping to God that Liverpool don't sign him. I'm praying to God because if they do, I'm putting him on that left wing.
Oh my bad.
So-
One second, Strella. Why did you say?
Stupid signing,
did-
yeah.
Yeah, why did you say super signing?
The reason why I said stupid signing, not because I think he's a bad player, the contrary, because I actually think I can see the potential. I actually think he's a decent player. I think it was the wrong player profile for what we wanted. Because we all agreed we wanted to striker because of what? Lack of goals. We got rid of Martial. Then you got to go and get Joshua Zerski, or Zerski, however you pronounce his name, to the club. When Ivan Toney, proven goal scorer, was available, there were other strikers that were available. You've gone from somebody, if you go and watch him at his previous club, I don't even think he amassed 15 goals. So it tells me you haven't got a track record of bagging goals. So if anything, you just replace him with Martial, a player like Martial, somebody who can play off the left and can play down the middle. They can do you a job in that Casper shift that we all know what happens. As soon as the ball's kicked, they're just chasing.
So if we know that Australia, yeah, why are we not even utilizing his fundamentals of what he's good at? Like that's where, for me, my concern is with this manager. He's
You
not
can't
even
go.
getting the best out of him in terms of just link up play with others. Like he's brought a false nine, and the guy don't even use his wingers to go. I'm in behind.
Brian, what did
How
I
do
say?
you do that?
Brian,
No,
what did I
but
say?
our
crazy.
wingers-
Brian,
the thing is,
same
Saeed,
problem
Our
as
wingers are too
Ugarte.
static.
I said the
Estella.
same problem you have in midfield, you have up front. It's the wrong profile player that you're getting to do the job that you want him to do.
Thank you.
And the
It
thing
is, it
is,
is.
everyone's saying play Zerski and Højlund at the same time. The conundrum with that is, if you play both of them, you run the risk of one of them getting injured. Then you basically revert back to type.
Yeah.
I've said this on so many occasions. Yeah, play him. You play him. We can't rely on Højlund's fitness. If he gets injured again and he gets ruled out for 3 months, you're stuck by him playing Zerski or Rashford up top. What are you going to do then? This is why I said get a proper striker.
Maybe
But the
maybe
thing
you don't
is,
play them
so-
together to start
Estella,
the game, but you play them together like during a match.
At some
Like
point
60
during the
60
match.
Yeah,
minute.
obviously at some point, but I would rather just get a proper number 9. And
Who-
we
who-
have
thing
to
is, yo, I promise you,
Who do you sign?
Ivan Toney in this
The
team does
problem,
double-
so just let me respond to that, Estella. The
Yeah.
problem is when we had Højlund, yeah, and he needed deliveries into the box, and wingers were terrible at delivering into the box. Now we've
He
got
had 2
Zirkzee.
good crosses to him. That was this season.
Like all of last season, they wouldn't cross to.
Oh, yeah, no.
Our wingers couldn't connect to Højlund.
Yeah.
That was a major problem. He'd be one-on-one where he could outmuscle a defender, or you could find him. They wouldn't do it. And then the problem and then you have somebody like a Zirkzee where you need your wingers to play ahead of the winger,
Ahead of him.
ahead of him, and our wingers don't. So I think if we get quality wingers, it will help a lot.
Bro, if
Like,
we upgrade
I
our
don't-
wingers,
I don't
Oh
think
my
we
God.
need. I don't think we need.
We would be doing way better right now. I promise you that right now.
Sorry.
If we had got Ivan Toney, he would have solved. He would have solved a large part of the issue. Let me explain why.
He's a better player.
Let me explain why. If you're saying there's a disconnect between in the final third and obviously our striker, Ivan Toney is notorious for dropping in the hole like what Harry Kane. His actual build-up play is actually pretty good. He's not just a bullish striker, what everyone says he is. His build-up play is actually pretty good, and his link-up play. I can't pronounce the winger's name for Brentford. I forgot his name now. The really bold one.
Underrated.
Yeah, people underrate him. Go watch his tenure with him. And most of the connections that they've and patterns of plays they've done with each other at Brentford. You see how much times Ivan Toney's played him off or played him on. They've been playing with each other, and he runs. It's literally central into the box, and he's got a header. It would have been a perfect combination.
Eshola, I'd be careful of that because of the fact what Ten Hag asks his striker to do. And this is what I was complaining about Højlund last season. Ten Hag wants his striker constantly, and I watch it anytime Højlund is on his pitch, and be like, "Why are you facing our own goal?
I know.
Why are you facing our own goal?" And Zexi has come in, and instead of developing other parts of his game, we just have him doing that role. Just be that link player, and that's it. And I'm like, we can have so much more from this guy.
Okay. Last 10 minutes here, Højlund. You know what my biggest concern is? He's not even a great footballer, guys. That's my greatest concern.
It's true. It's true.
What are you doing? Stop doing. What are you doing here?
Are you all right in the head, bro? Are you all right in the head? What's this guy? Why are you complaining, bro? He's not even a great footballer.
You're telling the truth, bro.
I'm telling the truth, man. He's not a
he
great
plays like a
footballer.
donkey.
Wallahi, broski. I think you, Brian, showed me the clips of when he was at Atlanta here, and he was a bit, you know what I'm saying? But bro, that must be playing in minus whatever speed, yeah. But broski, I'm telling you, this guy is not even a great footballer, and that's my biggest concern. His touch is like, bro, if Lukaku was there, you lot would have been bashing Lukaku. Put the same energy. I'm not, guys, like I said to you, I'm not writing off Højlund, but brothers, this guy's overall game stinks, guys.
Did you watch, Saeed? You watched our game against Villa. How would you say Watkins played in that game?
He was terrible.
It was terrible. Okay, what was terrible about him? Why did he struggle?
He didn't get in behind as much. He didn't stretch the defense. He didn't even link up play. He just wasn't involved.
Okay. Now, this is where I'm going to call out my United fans. I don't know how often you guys watch Aston Villa, but a lot of the time, that's how Watkins plays. I watch him quite a bit. That's how he plays. I swear to God. Just watch Watkins. Højlund is a similar profile. I don't know what you guys want from him. What do you want him to do? This is his profile. Put the ball in the box.
That's all. Just a little bit better.
Put the ball in the box. We do not put the ball in the box. Okay?
Oh, no, Brian,
Watkins is 20. Just to be clear, because people are going to misconstrue, I'm saying Watkins is 28, 29. He's had the time to develop the rest of his game more than Højlund has. Højlund is 21. So, like, again, that's his profile. Again, you listen. We were linked to Watkins. Then we went and signed Rasmus. Why? Because we were looking at the same profile. But it was easier to get Rasmus. But we are not developing Rasmus. We're not developing Højlund. People are just going to call him shit. He's terrible. But we don't play to his strengths. We do nothing that felicitates this guy.
Do you think his weaknesses outweigh his strengths? No.
Because at his age,
I think he does. Because if you don't have a good first touch, then how are you supposed to improve your rest of your game?
I saw this guy pull up one of the best touches at the Emirates Stadium when we almost beat Arsenal. His touch can be sporadic, but his touch can be good as well.
I'm not gonna lie. When we talk about first touch, Lukaku has over 100 Premier League goals with a bad first touch.
Thank you. Did we buy him for touches or did we buy him to score goals? What are we doing here?
No, I'm not saying he's Lukaku level. He's not. Lukaku is.
But he's stuff that's got the goals, man. Them.
Yes, that's different though.
Wait.
No, that's a different conversation though. First touch does not equate to you being able to put the ball in the back of the net. He can have a bad first touch.
Okay, what about the ability to do what he does, Lukaku?
He needs development.
But we saw a bit of it at the end of the season where you give him the ball, let him face the opposition team and move and shoot. Yeah, He's one of the best strikers are doing that.
Oh, I said,
it's
very simple.
Action needs to improve. That's what I'm saying.
First of all, you need to play him in a 2 up top, or you need to play him to another forward.
Are we gonna do that? Realistically?
No, we're not. Why not? Why not? We're
And
not
that's not
going
his
to play to
fault.
his strengths.
That-
But
That's
you know
not
what
his
it is?
fault, though.
You know what it is, though? His first action, he needs to be better. I believe you when you say, Brian, yeah, the ability to move and put to shoot with his right. He's actually quite bold-footed, when you deep it. Most of his goals have been with his right foot as well.
That's
but his
true.
left foot is incredible. When he launches that shot, he's got an incredible strike on him. But what I'm saying is, this Premier League, it's a humbler, guys. You're going to be seeing defenders as bully you, and they call Collins and them, man.
I'm
Pin
gonna
it.
be real. If
The
Ollie
other
Watkins can
thing,
score, if I'm gonna be
Saeed,
real, if
just
Ollie
quickly, the other thing is-
if Ollie Watkins can score 20 goals in this league, so can Rasmus Højlund. Because I don't think Ollie Watkins is that much better than
Oh
Rasmus
my
Højlund.
god.
Just quickly,
You see John Durant take
on
his
Højlund.
chain right in front of his eyes. You losing John Durant within a moment of 5 games, just be like, I'm the better striker already. Ollie Watkins is a good player. I'm not saying he's amazing or like that, but people overrated him to the part where
Just go watch him. Just go watch him.
This
When he
is
came
such
into
a
the Premier League,
disservice.
But the thing
Just
is, at the
go
bottom,
watch
not. Why
the
did
bottom
you
line
say
is,
him?
Brian,
as a
I'm gonna
footballer,
say
though,
something.
as a
I'm
footballer,
gonna say something.
he
That's
has a
mad.
lot of developing to do. Like, he's still not the end product. He's got a lot of develop. The other big aspect of he's not a very smart footballer. The other big aspect of his game is he doesn't know how to pick up little pockets of space. He's always wrestling. Like the smart forwards, what they do is they take defenders into positions they don't like. Whereas Højlund plays straight
our
into the
manager
defenses.
doesn't want him to do that. The manager wants him to occupy the centre backs.
Yeah, no. He's not.
It's
he's not
his
helping
fault.
him, he's
Do you
not
know what?
helping
Do you know what? I'll blame him.
I know.
It's his fault because he's listening to the manager. That's why he's getting played more now because he's young. He's young,
Yeah.
so he's going to listen to the manager.
But
If
he
he was
Xerxes do
older,
that. He lets Xerxes allowed to. Why does
Zexi is
Zexi
allowed
get-
to do it, but Zexi is not scoring goals either
You think he
because
has
of the same
intelligence
problem.
to do that? What you're saying?
And that's a
You
good
think he
point. By the way, that's a good point. Clock this. This is why you can't hit on the strikers, because you have 2 different profiles of strikers at Manchester United, and they're both profiles are
both
sucking
bad.
ass.
Yeah,
You know what that means? That the coach can't coach, because you can't have 2 profiles of striker and both are playing bad.
Both.
Because at least
Yeah,
one
no.
of them is gonna have to be able to play good, which means the coach can't coach. And that striker, if your
But
coach is
even
bad,
when you look at it, though, have we scored more than 60 goals in this United team? Our attacking rhythm as a team is so poor.
yeah,
bro.
because
so
all our
bad.
attackers hate each other. They all have
I
red
know.
links like on FIFA. Garnacho
Yeah,
don't
red
like
links.
Højlund. Rashford don't like Garnacho. Rashford don't like Højlund. Xerxes don't like Anthony because Anthony can't read a backheel pass. I saw Xerxes make Alexis Salamaker score 12 goals in Serie A. I promise you, the issue is not the players.
Mm.
If Alexis Salamaker, who's ass, can score 12 goals in Serie A, Rashford, who's 100 times a player, Amad Diallo, who's 100 times a player, even Garnacho, who's better than him, they can't score goals. The issue is telling me the coach can't coach. There's an
Science.
issue here.
You know,
That's like- it's like
doing
looking
this
after-
doing this exercise tells me that it's not very pretty, our United squad. Like, there's a lot of issues. There's a lot
There
of
is,
holes.
But a lot of it can be maximized by a good coach. These guys can go up 20% with a good coach. Go on, last comment there. Last comment. I know Griggs. We're gonna redirect to Griggs. Big up Griggs. We've got a show coming up. But yeah, go on. Last comment, and we're gonna
Real
wrap
quick,
it
you
up.
see when you're talking about the Ollie Watkins thing, yeah?
Yeah.
When Patrick Bamford was at Leeds, what would you say that the incomparable difference between Ollie Watkins and Bamford was?
You know what? Bamford. To be
That's
fair,
what I'm saying.
Leeds fans were crashing on Bamford, for not being clinical enough.
I didn't think he was as clinical, but Watkins, his clinicality increased in the last 2 years.
In the last 2 years.
He definitely went up.
Bamford was never serious, man. Let's be honest.
No. There was a point when they both got selected for England. I remember when Bamford was still bagging 4 leagues. Yeah. Obviously, his conversion rate went down, but I'm saying in terms of their style, where they both play.
Okay. One of them is a bit more techie. Like Bamford can link up, play a bit more close control, dribbling. Like, whereas with Watkins, it's fully in behind, making them run, stretching the defense. So they're 2 different sort of players if you deep it.
Credit
But I
to
get what you're
Emery.
trying to say.
Credit to
do
Emery.
we play to either of our strikers' strength? Yes or no?
Brian, please say what you're just going to say there now.
I just
Emery.
credit to Emery because again, I was watching Watkins, and he's improved massively. But he's playing the strikers to his strength, guys. We just watched Watkins against our shit team, and he was poor. Let's be real. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I like Watkins. I would have liked to sign him, but apparently, if we sign a player like Watkins and he struggles, people will call him shit. He doesn't have first touch. If our centre backs can have a good game, Maguire and Evans can have a good game against Watkins, guys. I'm just telling you, we are making we are making our strikers look like horrible. I feel for Xerxes. I feel for Xerxes.
So overall, the question was, are we overrating this Man United team? Everyone give the simple answer. Yes or no.
Yes.
Brian, yes or no?
Actually, no. Take it back. No.
We're not overrating this team.
I'll take it back. We're not.
Shit. Where's this? Oh yeah, is that camera died? Let me just go back to this camera.
Yeah, take it back. We're not. You man in the comments as well. You man are stingy, bruv. There's over 1,000 people watching, over 1,000 likes.
Yo, let me see where this camera's gone. I think this camera has a time limit. Yeah, go on. Carry on.
I was just going to say, I don't think we've overrated this team. Look at the performances. I think if anything, we are underperforming massively. Everybody's underperforming massively. So how can we overrate a team that is underperforming is bad? They can be much better. We don't know. It's hard to say because we don't know what the max of any player is right now. Kobe Mainoo is young. Højlund is young. Ugarte just came into the team. Martinez has been here a couple years. I don't think we've seen anybody hit their max. A few years ago, we knew how good Paul Pogba was, for example. We knew what his peak was. We don't know what the peak of any player on this team actually looks like, really. So it's hard to gauge. At the end of the day, you can only do so much as a fan. We need a lot of quality. I'm not going to argue with anybody in regards to that. But we still need to have a system. It doesn't matter if you go sign quality right now. Go sign whoever you want. If you don't want to play in a certain way to use them to their strengths, they will struggle. Because why?
Yeah.
What makes teams stand out now is not as much as the players like it was 20 years ago, I'd say, is the coaches. This is a time for coaches. So even though we didn't talk about Ten Hag today,
no,
he's a huge
problem. Yeah, I know, 100%. That's why for me, Ten Hag, you are a problem. And like I said to you guys, I wish I would speak about him, but it's Ineos watch now. It's not more Ten Hag anymore. Ten Hag's here. It's Ineos watch. They're frauds right now. You know what I'm saying to you? But listen, people, it's been a good show. I don't know how many likes won. Are we on 800 likes? Let me just check right now. We are currently on 724 likes, guys. Come on. You have time right now to hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. Big up Estrella, bro. Thank you for coming on, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Love always.
Come on, big up to Brian as well. Love for coming on, man.
No problem, man. Thanks. Always happy to be here.
And Ange as well. Big up to you, bro. Love for coming on.
Thanks, bro. Good chat.
Come on, man. Big up to you. Tomorrow, I'm going to be linking up with Musa, you know what I'm saying? We're going to be linking up in London. We're going to go pray a Friday Jummah, and then we're going to go link up. We're going to do a video tomorrow. So make sure you look out for that video. And like I said, it is what it is, people, man. Let me know in the comments as well. When this stream finishes, let me know in the comments. Is this squad overrated or is it not? Go over to Griggs' channel. And what you need to do when you go to Griggs' channel, type in Greece Hype.
Nice.
So I want you to go into this channel and just go Greece Hype. He's live right now. The Spanish chat, Greece Hype. And I'll see you guys on the next one, people. Take care. Have a good evening. And I'll see you soon.